sitting here meditating and pondering on the ways of the world today. Thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today. As granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented? If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, 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 oh. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Zayana way. Africa rise, young. Every 4 years, the politicians say he's your servant today. And after you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way, yeah. Not no strange, it's cow demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented. If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, oh, oh. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Zayana way. Africa rise.
Oh, it can be great. World turbulence among the politics. Never hypocrite, lava. Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. The leaders them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, the shedding of blood. Your heart that goes suffer if you show no love. Stay away, righteousness. What we call the nation if for no righteousness. Just make sure the children live.
I pray for the future generation not to give up this fight. I pray for the children of tomorrow not to sell out their birthright. Cause when I look how far I see the strangers eating up your food. Another form of slavery is coming here again. And that's why people are dying from causes that could be prevented. Oh yes, we do need some better leadership today. Oh, oh, oh. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Zayana way. Africa rise, young. Don't be moved. But as the day breaks, I see my people rising up again. Shaking up all the shackles, I see my people shaking up those chains. The lion with the mane, blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No, no, no. We don't want to see no more people dying from causes that could be prevented.
No more
Richard better leadership today.
I pray.
Oh, oh, oh. Zayana Yahweh. Zayana way. Yes, indeed. I go. I'm a 1212 Radio Culture, KULCHA TV. Good morning, good afternoon. It's morning, my neck of the woods. It's probably afternoon or evening where you are at, especially if you're in Ghana. It's evening as well. So good morning and good evening. Good late afternoon, however you want to call it. My name is Kwesi Eson Bakon, and I'm in the seat today once more through the mercy of the Most High God. And yes, indeed, we're here in the service of humanity, in the service of Africa, in the service of Mother Ghana. Yes, today we have a very packed show for you. We have 3 interviews. In our first interview, we will be speaking with Nana Kwadwo Jantuah. Nana Jantuah is a broadcaster and he is also a media analyst. Nana Jantuah will be speaking to us about press and human rights under President Mahama. Radio Culture. Yes, and in our second interview, we will be speaking with the man called Nana Kuntuo Asare. Nana Kuntuo Asare. Nana Kuntuo Asare will be joining us to speak about the upcoming KULCHA Festival. Now, why are we making a festival celebration a main topic on this show? I'll tell you why. For over 40 years, this festival has not been celebrated. And all of a sudden, boom, here comes the mighty KULCHA Festival. And the KULCHA Festival is the festival of the people of Assin Festival. We will be speaking to Nana Kuntuo Asare about the upcoming KULCHA Festival. We will learn a lot. Why hasn't it been celebrated for all this time? What prompted the resurgence? And what is the celebration going to look like? I also want to say that we are proud media sponsors or media partners for the KULCHA Festival. And on a less savory note, in the third interview, we will be speaking with Abdullai. What's the name again? Please get that for me. Abdullai Ibrahim. Abdullai Ibrahim represents the people of Fiaso. Now, last week, we heard about some elements or some operatives, I should say, of the national security visiting that community, and not in a very friendly way. We have reports of gunshots, we have reports of gun wounds, we have reports of bullet shells all over the place. Why? What caused that? We'll be speaking with Abdullai Ibrahim, spokesperson for the people of Fiaso, about that. Meanwhile, are you ready for our first interview? In a very short while, we should be connecting with Nana Kwadwo Jantuah, who seems to be having a bit of problem with his camera connection. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we will be able to bring you Nana Kwadwo Jantuah for our first interview. Please stay, don't go away. We will be right back after this short commercial break. As soon as I can find that is. Newsroom, commercial break.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Fiaso, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Fiaso municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Okay, you're welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. Let's go straight to our first interview for the day. Nana Kwadwo Jantuah, broadcaster, media analyst, personal friend of mine. And full disclosure, Nana Jantuah has had a stint with GH News now before. Yes, just full disclosure, so you know. But yes, I'm very delighted to be speaking with you, and whom I've been seeing in many years. Nana Kwadwo Jantuah. Nana, welcome
Yes, sir.
to KULCHA TV, Radio Culture.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Great,
Thank you so
great,
much.
great.
And Nana, yeah,
Yeah.
Kasabia Ghana for Tibia, you can wahasi.
Okay.
Please feel free. Say Dagbani, Frafra, the Tibia, say Entia, say baby son, what I say. But as the
Right.
spirit leaded. Thank you so much. Okay, so today we're here to discuss press freedom. We said press and human rights under John Mahama. I would really want to focus on press freedom, to be honest with you. I think it's very much connected. But I want us to focus more on press freedom. And thank you again for joining us for this. Nana, so far, it's not even been a year yet. But
Yes.
what do you see under John Mahama Part 2?
I want to, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's always a delight to hear from you. And by the way, to our viewers, Kwesi was very instrumental in Ghana, and we still miss his inputs. And so we are wishing that one of these days we'll miss you again. So perhaps maybe you also give us the hearing from wherever you are when we begin full activation back on radio again, perhaps.
Because all of a sudden you just got that you were like, I'm like, hey, hold on, what's going on there? We will talk about that. We will talk about that. Nana, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. So back to your question, it's a very critical question you asked. Press freedom under John Dramani Mahama. Of course, we all know that we are celebrating 1 year when Ghanaians marched to exercise their franchise. And I remember I was in Accra, so unfortunately I was not able to vote. However, I was happy with the outcome of the elections because, it was very glaring that there could be a possible change of government. President John Dramani Mahama has been a journalist, and he is a journalist. And so when it comes to press freedom, it is something that I believe is ingrained in him. Nobody should be able to, teach him the role of the media in governance, because we all know that we are the fourth estate of government, and we exist to ensure that we push the government and make sure he does the right thing. Chapter 12 of the Constitution is clear, which talks about the freedom of the media. We know that even in the press theories, where we have the authoritarian, the libertarian, the social responsibility, and that of Soviet communist, we are practicing more of libertarian and social responsibility type of press. But what it means is that in as much as you have the liberty to express yourself, to speak up, it is also incumbent on you to be socially responsible, to understand that in as much as you have the freedom to speak, it must come with a certain level of responsibility. And so I think that by now, every serious journalist like yourself, myself, should be able to know that this is my limitation in the midst of press freedom. Even in the United States of America, where they are practicing libertarian, I'm sure that Donald Trump, in his tag of, trying to give some, well-astute media houses as fake media houses, it is even giving them a certain setup. So CNNs and the BBCs and the like, they are now setting up and looking for that. Perhaps they could have been doing certain things that would have slided, but now you cannot just do it anyhow. So when you come to Ghana, there have been a lot of expansion. In fact, if you look at the influence of the new media, which also was very instrumental in the projection of John Dramani Mahama, because if you look at the demography, we had a lot of youthful population on the social media, and the NDC was able to take advantage of the social media to project their candidate, John Dramani Mahama. So if you look at the aftermath of the elections, we have realized a certain leverage of proactiveness, responsiveness from this particular government, where virtually almost everybody is trying to be very active and accountable on social media, whether TikTok, Facebook, however you want to call it. They are, because they realize that for us to be able to connect to the modern digital native, we need to be very active on social media. Unlike previously, where you find few government agencies that were so much active, it is not the case now. We find John Dramani Mahama's government very active, very responsive, and quick to condemn certain acts. For the first time, we have a president who is ready to warn the military and the security, saying that, look, you dare not touch a journalist. And to that extent, when recently when some military guys attacked a journalist, we saw what happened. You know, he had to warn them publicly. He had to condemn the act. And to that extent, the GJ, I think the military high command had to meet the GJ to, you know, try as much as possible to understand how best they can work without any impediment. So if you are talking about press freedom under John Dramani Mahama, yes, there have been certain packets of, you know, attacks on journalists. I mean, during the recent Ablekuma elections, we are aware of how some journalists were being attacked. But even that, they were attacked by the NDC supporters. But it was quickly condemned. And then some pockets of security and military and you know, reprisal, or I don't want to say reprisal, some level of attacks from the security agencies. But I am saying that press freedom under John Dramani Mahama, my initial statement would be, it's been better so far. And we find a president who finds himself as a journalist condemning any acts of, you know, attacks on a journalist who is just, you know, prosecuting his, constitutional agenda.
Thank you very much, Nana. Now, speaking about the president and his area of training, he is a journalist, like you said. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what we're going to discuss today, I was very impressed with his speech at the GJA. It was a sterling speech, but you've also mentioned that yes, he is actually taking steps to warn the military and everything like that. Is that enough, one would ask, to just warn the military, or do you think it should be a bit more, upfront with confronting the issue of attacks on the media, especially by state agencies?
Yeah, I get it. And, in Ghana, we found situations where a leader speaks and flamboyantly we talk about it in the news or airwaves, and after that, nothing happens. And so I am thinking that because the president is so much burdened with a lot of social challenges which he has to solve, it is also incumbent on whoever the sector minister is to really, call for a stakeholder engagement and come out with a white paper. And that white paper would guide every security person and the journalist to know how to report issues that are related to security, and also for the military or the security agencies to understand that just like they are protecting the parliament, the judiciary, and the executive, they also have that responsibility to protect us. So I think that beyond the president talking about the fact that he is not enthused or happy about any attack on a journalist, I think that the sector minister should ensure that they come out, sooner than later, maybe a policy paper that would really guide the way we do our things, so that everybody will be at peace and nobody will be afraid when he's, trying to
multi-sectorial, though, wouldn't you say? Because now we're dealing with the police, for instance. The other day we saw a policeman viciously attacking a press person. So the police, for instance, will come under the Ministry of Interior, right?
Yeah.
And the army is also complicit in this matter. We also see soldiers slapping journalists all around. So that will be under the Ministry of Defense. So that has to be a multi-sectorial.
Yes. That's where I call for the stakeholder engagement. Once they meet, so that at the end of the day, I'm sure they can present that white paper on how security and the journalists can work towards a better Ghana, other than seeing themselves as enemies. That when they are done, the encouragement will be for them to go together, jointly present that paper to the president, so that the president may or will have his final say.
All right. Nana, I want us to look at press freedom in 5 major areas.
Right.
And we're doing this with information from Reporters Without Borders, Reporters Sans Frontier. Now, we have to acknowledge for clarity that there hasn't been very current and accurate 2025 figures. Okay, so whatever we're looking at would not just be for 2025, it will be, for also the period preceding that. But let's look at this right now. And we're considering this under media landscape, for instance. Under media landscape, it says so much. I want us to focus on that last, the highlighted part. Reporters Sans Frontier goes on to, say all the flamboyant, in quotes, stuff about media in Ghana. But then it also says, however, measures are taken by the authorities to promote media pluralism let me take that again. However, measures taken by the authorities to promote media pluralism have favored in recent years the emergence of partisan media outlets launched by politicians. Let's focus on this a little bit, Nana. Touch on this one last sentence, please. Because what I'm seeing is that, yes, we do have an abundance of media outlets and everything, but what use are they if all they are doing is churning out political propaganda?
Well, that's the reason. Of course, like I said, our practicing of the press is basically libertarian and social responsibility. And so the Constitution is very clear that even when somebody desirous of setting up a media house cannot be stopped. And the Constitution is clear. Mm-hmm. The only difference is that it has to be regulated so that, we will not behave like we are living in a jungle. Mm-hmm. But the clarity is that if anybody decides to set up a media house or a paper or whatever, you cannot stop the person. But the challenge is that, unfortunately, the people holding forth for us are all politicians. And if you go back to even in the 90s, when Radio I was set up by Reku Brobe, because we knew that it was only the GDCs that were recognized by the JJ's government. And of course, JJ was afraid of, a liberal democracy, because if you allow more private entities, we know what could possibly be the case. And so it was very clear that he had to close Radio I. The 1995 Kumipreko demonstration, because it was more like a culture of silence. Until 1995, when we had, Joy FM coming into the scene. And even that, you needed to be a bit cautious. Mm-hmm. And so in 2000, after the elections, when through the then former president, who was the Attorney General, Abdullai Braimah, was able to remove the criminal libel law, it was very clear that then the media pluralism was now in fruition. Mm-hmm. And so the clarity was that it also helped the businessmen, because Kufuor also came in to liberate the businessmen. And so we had a lot of businessmen also entering into the media space for whatever reasons, whether to market or whether to also, influence their dominance in the society or for whatever reason. So you realize that during the Kufuor era, we had a lot of media licenses being churned into the system. And because of Kufuor allowing the media to speak, most of the media houses were more of pro-MPP. And it was something that the NDC also learned. So when they had opportunity to come back to power around 2012, they also, because, the president of the day appoints the National Communication Authority boss. So through that, he also made sure that they liberate the licenses by giving more licenses to NDC affiliated businessmen or personalities. And so you realize that as we had the likes of Oman FM, Ash FM doing the bidding of MPP, we had Radio Gold, Daily Post, and the likes. Even now, Power FM, Radio XYZ, all of them becoming more of pro NDC.
Yep.
And so the challenge came into force when we politicize who gets the lances.
Yes.
And so that is why it then becomes very difficult for the modern day media to really listen to what is factual, very objective, without any bias lenses. And so the challenge had been we allowed the politician to take over, because now the frequency, which of course, if you look at the normal amount that you need to set up a media house, right now as we speak, some people are buying it in dollars, which is not supposed to be the case. And you wonder why somebody may invest maybe old currency, 20 billion, to buy a frequency. What has he, seen in the media landscape? It was through that was where the birth of more citizen journalism came into fruition, because the people realized that the traditional media were so biased, not objective, were aligned. And so the challenge was that, okay, if we are able to talk on social media, as for that, Mark Zuckerberg will not even restrict me. So I can speak what I think is real. And that is how come the new media began to take over from the traditional media. And so now, now the issue of even fake news has become one of the most dominant discussions in our media landscape. The issue of misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, the issue of verification, the issue of fact-checking before you speak, and the fact that the citizens on social media are even questioning and critiquing the works of traditional media or so-called professional journalists. Yep. It does tell you that in the midst of all the distortion by some politically aligned media houses, we still have some people in the media space or the social media who are citizen journalists also coming out with some of the news to balance the case. Some of them are not true, but of course, we still find a situation where people want to fact check each other.
We will come there. We will discuss that in itself, the new media and its impact and its how to control it. Because I don't like using the word control, especially when it comes to the media. I don't want control, but we have to regulate, I guess is the word, right? So that it deals with the issue of false news and all of that. But so let's put that on the side burner. We'll come back to this. But I want us to go a little bit into this. How do we find our way as a citizenry among all this mishmash of, politically biased news inflow? This is what I mean. We have on one side the opposition allied stations in a state of perpetual cynicism. Even if the government does something good, they don't see it. And then on the other hand, we have the government aligned media touting everything they do as positive, even if they're not doing it. How do we as the citizens find our way among all these? How do we choose what media to trust?
Well, it's a very difficult question, but I would attempt to try. The challenge is, and also I think the good aspect is that now you find a lot of Ghanaians going to school comparatively. And so you find people who are able to read for themselves, learn for themselves without any external influence. I am saying this because you find somebody saying that I'm not going to listen to this media house because we know them. A typical case is in Ashanti region. In the olden days, you could have been on perhaps a known MPP media house. You could have said anything for people to believe you. But you can even find an MPP sympathizer telling you that I am an MPP person, but I will not listen to maybe Wuntumi or Ash FM because they are too biased. I want to listen to diversity. And so, I mean, my case, for example, in FM, it's an independent media house. But what was the challenge? The challenge was that you find a journalist like myself trying to do my work professionally. And once you're doing your work professionally, it may not be aligned to the values and the philosophies of an MPP aligned person, especially when you are doing it in an MPP dominated space.
Yeah.
So what happened? There will be a lot of backstabbing and lies and distortions and disinformation against anybody who attempts to be professional. But in the midst of all those challenges, you realize that I was able to, or the media house was able to get credible on negotiated audience who are ready to balance between what they have heard and then the truth. So I believe that some media houses are really doing their best. And I think that anybody who is a media friend or somebody who is who relies on media for information by now generally understands that, yes, we know which ones are truly working independently and those ones that are aligned politically. So I'm not sure that with the current educational system and the fact that people are going to school, people are educated, majority of them are not able to know what is factual, what is an opinion, and what is a fact. Things are not all 100% right, but I think that it is better comparatively to what we had experienced maybe some 5 or 10 years ago.
Interesting. And I guess the sum of it is that it's up to us, the consumers of news, to push back, I guess, right? If you hear something that doesn't really line up, you push back on it,
Yeah.
And hey, we have the means to do that, calling and all of that. And I've seen a lot of that also happening.
Yeah.
And I thank you very much. Let's look at the second pillar of our discussion today, the political context, right?
Okay.
And in that piece, I want us again to focus on the highlighted part. Okay, so I read, a third of the country's media outlets are owned by politicians. Still on the same case, really and truly.
Yeah.
This is, we're taking it into a broader context.
Yeah.
So it's owned by politicians or people with ties to the leading political parties in plural. And the content they produce is largely partisan. Furthermore, the government chooses the National Media Commission's members, although it has little to no influence over the appointment of those in charge of privately owned media outlets. You have already hinted on this. The government's influence in, making sure how licenses are operated and all that. You already have hinted on that. But expand on this for me, please.
Yeah. So it's very clear. I think that their research is apt and it is really creating a lot of problems. I can tell you the number of frequencies that are owned by MPP supporters and personalities, same like NDC supporters and personality. Right now in Ghana, you can make mention of Wuntumi, Oman FM, and even some independent, so-called independent media houses. You know by the way they handle things as politically aligned. I don't want to mention many names. Same thing like Radio Gold. And let me tell you, I'm sure you know the history of Capital Radio. Now, because of the tag, Capital Radio now needed to, change their style of, their house style, their values. They didn't want to enter into any politics because of what they had gone through during the MPP era. And we also find a situation where, as we speak, the NDC is also using, their powers. I mean, their powers. When I say powers, it is within the law to also handle certain media houses that is deemed to be affiliated to MPP. Just like how Radio Gold was really handled during the MPP era. And that is the problem.
I think that, and sorry to truncate your thought, but
No problem.
Unlike just like you said, the shutting down of Radio Gold and all of that. And I don't want to go too deeply into that. But in this case, in this government, we did see President Mahama actually asking the communications minister to give stations like Wuntumi, which is obviously NPP, a second chance and so on. It's not quite the same, is it?
No, I think that it is also because of the fact that President John Dramani Mahama was talking about resets. And so even when you do certain things and you find the citizens also lambasting you, that look, you cannot, just because you have the power to do just anything, then you have to be cautious, because in as much as you want to reset, people must see that you are not doing what certain people did, and it brought them to where now they are crying foul and crying to be heard. And so you see, the point is that the Constitution is clear. Article 6 of the Constitution, which talks about the executive, Article 8 of the Constitution, which talks about the executive. It is clear that when you read, I think Article 57 clause 6, it talks about the fact that, I think 57.1 or something thereabout, it talks about the fact that anything that the minister does, anything that the minister does is deemed to be coming from the president. And so, because it is the president that gives the minister the authority. So if the minister pronounces anything, you are representing the president. And so the Minister of Communication is the president's representative at the communication ministry. So when Sam George says anything, we cannot take it on a face value. It will be deemed to have been coming from the president. So the president, you will speak on behalf of the president. And so today, people are understanding that you have a bigger role. Unfortunately, the reality is that it is the politicians that have the money. They have the funds. They can issue dollars. The ordinary citizen cannot have an access to a frequency now. It will be few. Only few businessmen can have access to the frequency. And I can tell you, if this agency that did this wonderful job, they are going back into the NCA to engage them on who owns what frequency, I can tell you about 70 to 80% will be owned by the NDC and MPP influencers or politicians. And so it becomes, and even more. So it becomes very difficult when we want to discuss some of these issues. Because, for example, Radio XYZ, Wezo TV, they are doing it, but it is NDC. They are there now because NDC had made them more popular. Come to Wuntumi, MPP made them popular. And so it is very difficult now. But the reality is that so far as the politicians are now having the power and the influence to maneuver to get more of the licenses, it then becomes very difficult for the few credible radio houses or media houses to really break through. But I think that in the midst of all the turmoil, people still trust the credible media houses, my brother.
Okay, so let me go to the first part, which is not highlighted also, because something just caught my attention, right? Although Ghana is considered the regional model of democratic stability, journalists have experienced growing pressures in recent years to protect their jobs. This is where I want us to focus. To protect their jobs and their security, they have increasingly resorted to self-sponsorship as the government has been self-intolerant of criticism. That's another question altogether, whether the government is intolerant of criticism under John Mahama.
That is true. I mean, myself, I have had what we call what Edward Herman and Noam Chomsky, coined the filters of propaganda, the filters. And one of them was organized flag, where there's a coordinated attack on any journalist who want to speak the truth to power. And so that coordination means that you have to speak to a favor. I mean, just last year, the MPP guys were attacking me and tagging me as NDC. Recently, you find many NDC guys attacking me as MPP. Why? Because they feel that you are supposed to work for them. And so sometimes if you are not bold enough, that is where the issue of self-censorship comes in.
Yeah.
So it is not government censored, but you look at the implication of whatever you want to say and the backlash that you are likely to receive, then you begin to self-censor yourself and just say that, well, I don't want to say this thing. I don't want to say the obvious truth. I don't want to say these things for people to attack or insult me.
Or I will say it in a certain way.
I will say it in a certain way.
And, you know, not like
exactly.
Basically deal with power with kid gloves, basically.
And it is same. I mean, all of us, we do self-censorship. And when we're talking about self-censorship, I mean, you have to apply common sense because we are communal in nature. Somebody knows you somewhere, and you cannot trust anybody. You could have somebody who says that, I know Kwesi stays at Bantima. He comes home at 8 o'clock. I can give you the lead, and things can happen. Yeah. I've had situations where I had to be given a different place to sleep for over 1 month because of some of these kind of challenges, because you realize that there are people who are plotting to, harm you.
And also against your family, Nana, because what I've noticed is that apart from the people actually physically harming you, the trend that I'm noticing in Ghana is also setting certain elements on social media to completely denigrate you, including saying nasty things about your family.
Exactly. And it's true. For me, I'm a living example to some of these things. I've experienced a lot of attacks, insults, defamation, and all those things. Just that by the grace of God, we are stronger in spirit. And so some of these things, we take it in our strides and we do not, push too much because we are focused. And I always say that if you're doing anything that you don't encounter these kind of challenges, means you are not doing anything. You should get to the level as a journalist where you are being insulted and attacked for doing what is right. And that's
true. I mean, that's true to an extent. But I'm looking at somebody like Komla Dumo of Blessed. I never heard anybody insult Komla Dumo. I never heard anybody, or maybe it was a different era. Maybe we can.
Yeah, because it was little of social media. You understand?
Yeah, generally speaking, and even Kojo Nkrumah before he joined the NPP. To be honest with you,
yes, you look at that era.
Against him at all until
look at that. Yes, look at that era. That era was less social media. And so you for the traditional media, we choose when to let you come in. There are times we can decide to say that today we are not picking any calls. And so even when somebody wanted to insult Kuntuo Nkrumah, the producers can limit it.
Yeah,
they will ask the questions and why is the intention? Okay, I want to come on Ras show. Okay, what's your name? Where are you calling from? This, that. So the producers were able to manage certain.
You mean the profile, the callers in the back?
The profile.
Saying?
Yes, I mean sometimes you know that for this person on Kenyans as him, and so. culture. On Kenyans as him. So yes, on Kenyans as him. So if you're not very, very careful, then
which part of Ghana?
Yeah, who may be your friend be saying that
your possible political affiliation.
Yes. So at that time, we say it was not as interactive like the new media. Because as for the new media, when you are done speaking as Ras, G8 News Now, somebody will just attack you on social media. If you didn't allow him to speak, he knows how to tag you.
That's another way of attacking you.
Yes, and tagging you and getting his people to come and insult you for nothing. I mean, a recent case was when I talked about the fact that Dr. Bawumia showed leadership. Apronye took it, insulted, attacked me, lied against my personality. Fiaso also said same. And that coordinated attack, all because you touched a certain person that they feel that that person is a demigod. So the reality is that it is a difficult terrain, but self-censorship is more of common sense. That if you are going to say
and
it,
some of it is needed, I guess, is what you were saying. A little bit of that is needed for your own.
Yeah. Very. And that is why you move in your intimate for your bush and phone check. Intimate more than we are mundi dimatem. Because one share crano, bimpe was no crano, or Chanko crano, o day, o bar now, you crack or to swap. When he to obey do Yatima could do math when you send it become. So, I mean, self censorship is a necessity. Looking at the temperature of the political discourse in the country.
Okay, now let's go to the third pillar, legal framework.
Right.
All right. So, Reporters Without Borders says the Right to Information Act passed in 2019 authorizes journalists to demand information of national interest. However, a clause in the law allows a fee to be charged if the information is requested in a language other than English, a provision used to prevent journalists from accessing the information they seek. Reporters Sans Frontier, I want to correct something real quick, please, before I have Nana come in.
No problem.
I don't think that provision is used to prevent journalists from accessing the information they seek. I just think it's a stupid aspect of that law, right? Why do I say this? I don't think that 3/4 of the active journalists in Ghana can read or write in any Ghanaian language. So when I'm looking at people seeking information, unless of course we're talking about maybe in digital formats like audio and so on.
Yes.
Then we are speaking that language. But otherwise, when it comes to the written one, I don't think that's the issue. But however, let me have you react to this quickly, please. Just leave that part alone and just attack the main issue there for me. That law, first of all, is functioning. How easy is it to get information from the sources that you should get them from? How easy is it to even get to a party official as a non-mainstream platform like ours, for instance?
Yeah.
Right. And how is this impacting the deliverance or the delivery of media or media material to the public?
I think that naturally Ghanaians are not accountable enough. We live in that secretive culture where we feel that the way we behave in the house should be same when we come to public, when we are serving in the public. And so the RTI bill was seeking to enhance the issue of accountability and probity. Unfortunately, we are living in a system where the system itself that created those guidelines or rules will frustrate you based on how they feel about those issues. But elsewhere, they will push you to come out with those kind of documents. Of course, there are laws. When you submit your intention, you have 14 days, and if they don't do it, there are penalties and all those stuff. But you see, the point is that, yes, there are only few media houses and individuals who have been able to apply the RTI and gotten certain answers. We've had situations where some institutions were fined, including security and other, even Parliament House and even government, of their inability to make certain documents accessible. And so the challenge is that because some Ghanaians naturally are born bad, our issue of trying to come up with a certain document or certain public information or certain public interest information, it becomes wobble. And so the RTI bill was supposed to help us. As we speak, it is there, it can be activated, but sometimes the frustrations that you go through, and that is why most of the media houses would want to find the unconventional means to get those kind of documents. Because if I have to just frustrate myself throughout the process of waiting maybe 2 weeks or whatever to get a document, perhaps if I begin to speak based on the information that I have, it will automatically generate a certain discourse to push certain people to start coming out with certain documents. Look at what is happening between Manasseh Azuri and that of OSP.
Yes.
Now OSP says that we have been able to save about 2.something billion Ghana cedis. Manasseh says it is not like that, and so you see the back and forth. Based on that, now the OSP decide to bring documents, and Manasseh decide to also bring documents, and people are also sharing documents. So I think that the conventional way of accessing information through the RTI bill, it could be sometimes bureaucratic and cumbersome, and so people would decide to use this crook method, so-called, to get those information. And I think that unconventional means really gets the results than the conventional means. Because if a soldier decides to do anything, now one of the unconventional means will be you're able to get a document that we think it was secretive. Because what happens today, you bring the document, somebody gets it and snap it and push it straight forward without waiting for anybody. And now we have phones, cameras, videos. People can just capture and push it. So by the time you are denying, somebody already have it. It is in the social media. So it is very difficult for you to lie. Thank God for social media. Thank God for citizen journalism. And now we are able to know a lot of, look at what recently happened during the military recruitment processes. Imagine we didn't have anything social media. I am sure they would have lied. I am sure they could have, tried to bottleneck this information. But today, what happened? Based on the fact that people started talking about it, people were really aggressive. People were really angry about the way the military, were handling recruits. Based on that, look at what has happened aftermath. And so the point is that RTI is good. It has to ensure transparency, but the challenge is the bureaucracy, and that is why I would choose the unconventional means than the conventional means.
Yo, Nana, thank you. Now, Yanka. Yemfa yeninche bibia sika so wakakra.
Right.
Even in your introduction, you introduced the media as a fourth estate. But there's a marked difference between that so-called fourth estate and the three other estates. The three other estates are paid with taxpayers' money. They are funded with taxpayers' money. They are protected, like you indicated, by taxpayer money. Whereas when it comes to the fourth estate, not so much. And then we're struggling to keep on our feet. Now, the government resources that should also be spread around is also geared towards mainstream, so-called, and politically recognized institutions, leaving the wider media on its own. Now, why do we even have a school of journalism, for instance, if we only have so many media outlets that can absorb only a few of them, and everybody else is trying to set something up? And mind you, some of these ones were even actually set up by people who use their own resources, right? Before they would get any funding at some point. Let's go to the economic context, Nana. It says state-owned, on the other hand, are awarded government advertising contracts and are paid in exchange for publishing information. Non-transparent and unfair procedures are used to allocate state advertising. You have had a good stint with a very well-known media house in Ghana. How much can you tell us about this?
Well, I think that it is true. Generally, journalists are not being paid well. It's only few corporate houses, and it's even in the corporate media houses, it depends on your value. So you find that there's a salary gap between the few people who may be paid well and majority of the people who are in the same media house. It is really a challenge. And I know some media houses that are not being paid for almost 2 years, but they are working. And that is why there's a challenge with professionalism, because you cannot tell a hungry journalist to be professional. The person must survive. Because we have been into that situation before. Situation where you come, you work, people are hearing you and praising you. People are, giving you all the hype, and then you go home hungry. We've experienced those situations before. I mean, there have been situations where you are working, and at the end of the month, you just receive a meager amount.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, majority of the media houses in Ghana do not have a proper return on their income. And henceforth, the journalists working in those media houses resort to ways and means to survive. And that is why they align with political parties. It's about, let me affiliate with maybe MPP, MP, or NDC MP, so that when I begin to hide the person, perhaps, who knows, will be able to sort
or
me
even
out.
outside of the political context. And
Yes,
I also
yes.
experienced a situation where I don't want to mention the name of the media house because obviously, but I went with this, I had a stint with these people where they would get up in the morning and scout for where there are events that are more likely to what's the word, to bring forth solid, right? I mean, so there are 5 events going on. We're showing all of them. Okay, there's some riot going on somewhere because some people are not happy about something. How is that going to benefit me? Standard Chartered Bank is having an event, a corporate event at the City Hotel with some, dinner and chops and some fine people coming. There's very likely to be some solid over there, or at least some chop over there. I'd rather go over there than go cover the riot. That's what I'm saying. Have you experienced that also?
It has happened every day, every time. And I don't blame them. The honest truth is that I don't blame them, because I feel that the system has created that situation. And you see, society has a certain perception about a journalist, especially when you are seen to be talking and being influential. And so for me, editors want to survive, reporters want to survive. And so when they go for any program, and that program will not give them any traction, any amount, there's a way they even would give your news.
Yes.
That premium.
Yes.
Yes, there's a way that they give premium to your news.
All right. Now let's move on. Because of time, and we still have a couple. We have 2 more pillars to look at, and
no problem.
A suggestion that RSF is giving to President.
No problem.
But let's move on to the next one, which is the socio-cultural context.
Yes.
And with that, let me read that part that's relevant to our discussion right now. So other topics such as culture and religion can be covered freely without. This is short, so let me read right from the top. It says, journalists investigating environmental issues. And let me salute my brother Erastus Asare Donko. For what you're doing.
It's not easy.
Yes. And I know a few others. So Himi Teria, Isaac Bediakon, a few others are really doing some very good work for the environment. We salute our colleagues. So it says journalists investigating environmental issues, particularly mining or salt extraction, are particularly targeted by physical attacks, sometimes resulting in serious injuries. Other topics such as culture and religion can be covered freely without particular difficulty. Now, when I read this, it worries me a little bit, because it's like, okay, let's not discuss the things that matter. Let's discuss the things that don't really matter. From where I see, that's how I see it.
It is true. I mean, if you look at Ohimin Teria, you say Abonama Nagi to say Nitia.
Oh,
yeah, I'm attacking last year. I mean, no one shed Anton. No one shed Anton. Niti to be a drop and a bar. It's so painful. It's to be I mean, it's not easy. Erastus to be a never say or Babru Chimpo.
I don't know where that is carried from, because the kind of people are no more face, we are very dangerous people.
No, very, very. Now, a soldier who is supposed to protect you, is rather protecting the Galamseyes.
Yeah.
What do I say? And sometimes it is a war. Sometimes the last time,
And
the
these
last
people
event.
are operating from higher command.
Yes,
So you
yes.
as a citizen, no crowd, how do you even feel protected? Say, because you don't really even know where the command is going to come from. You don't know the kingpins or all of them, right? It could be somebody who's related to the minister for kind of that. And they're going to be giving. What would that be person with channel?
And they are so deadly people. They will kill you. I mean, Erastus, recent one, luckily, and then I think was it Newmont or one of the big mining firms. Their car was passing by. That was the only savior. Other than that, they would have killed the team in the bush and buried them, and nothing will happen. And that's how dangerous it is when you want to discuss issues of mining, salt. Look at what happened at Adan. The issue with McDan and the journalist who was maimed and later on passed away.
Yeah.
And so you see, and the big people who are into these things have the influence. They have the guns. They buy the people. They hire the macho men. And you are not a macho man. You are only trying to expose the rot in the system, and that becomes a harm. And that is where sometimes even the self-censorship comes in. So sometimes you just want to stay neutral and do all those ones that would generally be likable by the people, other than being radical, trying to expose things that really are the lifeline of somebody destroying the environment, because you know that by destroying the environment, he can buy a lot, do a lot. Nobody cares because he has the money. And you are trying to let the person stop. It is not easy, my brother. It is not easy at all.
Interesting. Now let's look at the last pillar before we go to that advice that RSF has for John Mahama. And I'm going to read all of this. Safety, general safety of journalists. So journalist safety has seriously deteriorated in recent years. Journalists' work is frequently obstructed, most often due to studios being verbally and physically attacked during live broadcast, and journalists being assaulted while they are on air. Most cases of police violence against journalists are not penalized. The same goes for murders of journalists. 6 years after the brutal death of investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale, the investigation has ground to a halt. President John Dramani Mahama, elected in December 2024, has pledged to reopen it. And as I stated from the beginning, the information from RSF is not current, so to speak.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So that should be taken into context, because we know that a lot of these things that are being reported, we know where they're coming from. We know where journalists were attacked or all of that while they were live. We know all these things happen, and it wasn't Mahama, so we need to make that. All right. But all that said, though, what's your general reaction to this? And I will ask you another question on the second part regarding Ahmed Swale. So you may leave that out for now.
I think journalists generally are being cautious. In fact, you need to have a second heart, more like a lion heart, to survive. Because sometimes it may not be even government sponsored. It may be supporter sponsored. I am not sure Dr. Bawumia asked anybody to attack me for expressing my view. But I know that it is coming from the supporters, who some of them may be influential, who may try to induce certain people to attack you. Because in the midst of all those things, you find people who are closer to Dr. Bawumia telling me that don't mind them. We have not sanctioned anybody to do that. And yet, you find the organized, coordinated attack on people's personality. In that case,
Nana, would be that, why then don't they just issue a statement?
I agree. So that's why I say that sometimes the hypocrisy aspect is, when I say, I am not the person responsible for the attack on Akwesi, but I am keeping quiet. And so you have a valid point.
And I'm calling you, don't mind the guy that slapped you around, but it's very likely that he's going to come back and slap you again. And I'm not saying nothing about it. That's hypocrisy.
And that's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy for me. But that's the point. I mean, the points are very clear that journalists fear. Journalists are afraid. And I can tell you, most journalists who started well And today, when you are talking to them, they will tell you that, look, we are all now protecting ourselves and our families. Because in Ghana, if you kill yourself for Ghana, nothing useful will come out from it. You understand? Okay. And let me break this news. Can you imagine recently when some journalists followed the EPA team to certain mining site on their way, they had accident? Can you believe that they have been neglected? I'm breaking this news, and this week we'll be working on that. The people who were on an assignment to serve the nation, after the initial, oh, we are sorry, they visited, now the journalists would have to cough out to take care of themselves. And this is the point. Why should a journalist who was serving the government, EP, a journalist had an accident and it was because of your duty and they feel neglected? So the next time you come in and you want a journalist to support your agenda, do you think that I would release a journalist or I'll be supporting you? So this is a...
Do you think, sir, under such circumstances, no, maybe before a media house releases journalists to go on an operation like that, before multimedia releases Erastus Asare Donko to go with the team over there, or, you know, whatever, no, there should be a clear understanding that the security of these journalists are in their hands. Because right now, I don't think there's any framework that says that any agency per se should take care of these journalists. Am I right? Otherwise,
I get it. Yeah, it is true. It is true. It is true. I think multimedia does it, making sure that once you are picking any of our journalists, make sure you protect the person. Recently, we went to Asanko mines because some community members had attacked some of their machines, and we went there. But we went there with assurance from the security personnel. They escorted us. They made sure that we are safe. When we landed on most of the places where they had, you know, caused the damages, we were protected. And I was the leader, and I made sure that everybody was safe. The vehicle, the guidance, everything, till everybody eventually, when we came back to Kumasi. But it doesn't normally happen. And I think that I agree with you. Maybe the media house should be extra vigilant and demand more, other than, oh, solid womanty, where the no, it doesn't work like that.
In other places, I know that the journalists are insured, right? CNN is not going to send their reporters to Gaza without some type of assurance for them and, you know, their family and all of that. Now, let's look at the second part of this thing. Ahmed Swale, President made it a topical issue when he was campaigning. How much work have you seen being done to get back on that case and to make sure that everything is lined up?
I think I'm highly disappointed with the way the state is handling these issues. Because you see, in Ghana, it appears that you can be killed and nothing will happen. I mean, if you are doing proper adoption, you should be able to, you know, you should be able to pick the pieces together by now. Because it cannot happen that there was a journalist, there was a politician who was loud, and after everything, nothing happens. And as we speak, I mean, potentially, he could be a candidate. You know, I'm not showing that he had made it, but certain utterances elsewhere where you live, you know that any person that had said anything related to the death of this person would have been in under investigation. But unfortunately, in Ghana, we just talk about it. Once the person is buried, we will just drag it. See an issue of what do you call it? A member of parliament, Dankwa, JB Dankwa, who was murdered, and it closed over whatever years. Nothing has happened. And so I think I think that Ahmed Swale, I'm not impressed so far, and I'm not impressed with what even this current regime is doing regarding the death. I want more proactiveness. Something must happen because our brother was working for the betterment of this country, my brother.
Thank you, Nana. Now, before we go, let's look at the advice that RSF has for President Mahama and give me your take on it. The first one, he says, create a safer, more protective environment for journalists, particularly those covering environmental issues, by ending intimidation and attacks on journalists while they're working.
Yeah.
How do you propose the government can do this?
I think it's clear. The fact is that journalists like Erastos or Himin TVNO must be protected. The state must consciously protect them. The national security must protect them. You understand? Because, I mean, it's not easy. These sensitive cases like this, why is it that when the minister is going for those kind of, what do you call it? When he's going for those visits or whatever, he's being protected with all sort of security apparatus. And then the journalist who is bringing the stories out to help the government is not protected. The fourth estate is not protected. I think that I agree with them that these sensitive issues, they need special security.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, the second point, it says promote media independence by limiting the possibility for politicians to be majority shareholders or owners of media outlets. A third of the country's media outlets are owned by politicians or by people who have ties to, we already explored that. I so much support that point.
Yeah.
I think this is something we should launch a massive campaign on. But let me hear you.
I agree. I mean, I agree. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
No, that's
unfortunately. Yeah, it's not going to happen because a woman.
Never say never, because I believe in people power. I believe in people power, and I believe that at least we have we have comparatively a more listening government, if not for anything, where we can do more. And then also President Mahama being a media professional, I think will understand that a lot more. I think this is our best.
Well, for me,
yes.
Well, for me, I think that the influx of new media is balancing it. So there could be a situation where the government can issue 100% licenses to politically affiliated people. We don't care. The new media alone is enough to balance the equation. And so you can be a politician, fine, but the new media would expose you.
I hear you. Okay, but you know that these people are also branching into the new media also. I heard Kuntuo the other time saying, I have 5 radio stations, I have 3 online stations. So they actually are barging into the media.
Yes, we are bloggers. Be breaching.
And you perform one way, phone in Kwan. And they will nullify everything you are saying.
You don't measure Trini Jonas money, you know where did you matter come?
I'm not a very big fan of Trini Jonas. I am not a fan of that guy. He does not.
Me either.
But let me give you a quick example before we go to the third point, though. Remember when the former Western Regional Minister said Kenke costs 7 cedis or something like that?
Yes.
And then all somebody had to do was take a phone and go to the spot and say, "Hey, mom, how much does your Kenke cost?" The woman says 5 cedis. You know, they completely nullified all that.
Yes,
all right, it's a
different of the new media.
All right. Okay. Now the third part, it says remove fee access for information requests.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that?
I agree. I mean, information access there. Government must sponsor it.
If they charge fees in part, it's not on somebody who's trying to get information in the local language of all things.
Now, I mean, that you identify the most spoken languages, which you've already done. You understand? Say Ga, in Chi, in Hausa, you can do that. And AI is able to help some of these things. You understand? You can get AI to quickly translate all these things into Chi or Hausa or French or whatever. And so I don't see the difficulty here, especially when we are in the
process ChatGPT. So they
technology world.
All right. Now the fourth point, it says redistribute state advertising transparently and fairly to improve journalist salaries. I so much support this also, Nana. But what's your reaction?
I do support it, but the difficulty is that that normally don't happen because most businessmen want to align with the government of the day. And so, for example, now that we have NDC, you are likely to find perhaps MTN, Vodafone, Airtel sponsoring maybe Radio XYZ or Wezo TV, just because they are afraid that anything can happen. It is a good point, but the devil is in the details.
But again, like I said, citizen power, right? Because we can bring this to parliament. But I personally don't know how media all that is distributed, and I don't know how maybe or whatever, right? Where I say, but that's another thing I'll call you on another day.
Yes.
Ghanaian, there are two topics I may not be treat you. Apart from this,
any problem?
Let's look at new media in totality.
Any problem?
And I also want us to look at Ghanaian media presence outside of Ghana. So these are two interviews I want you to promise our viewers.
I promise. Any choice.
Thank you very much. But let's finish today's discussion. The next one, who you're pointing on the redistribution?
I'm done with that.
Okay, all right. And then it says end impunity for crimes against journalists by systematically. Nishu, please take the banner off so I can read the full thing. Thank you. By systematically doing what? Opening investigations to prosecute the perpetrators. That's a no-brainer, if you ask me. But let me get your reaction, Nana.
I mean, that's key, because they need to understand that without the media, things would have been haphazard. Without the media, the politician will keep on messing up the system. Thank God for the media. Other than that, nobody would have been able to scrutinize the system. And that's why we talk about the media, states, government triangle, the triangle. So the media is the liaison entity between governance and the citizens. So citizens rely on the media, government will rely on the media. So at every point in time, we need to ensure that as we are working, we are protected. You cannot beat me for just speaking something that people want us to talk about. My crime is saying that the roads are bad. We are not getting good drinking water. Fix it for us. Why should you beat me? I don't think it's fair. And I think that our able president should be able to protect us the more beyond the talks.
Thank you very much, Nana. Yadasi and Obre Mayende. But Miriam Fie. And for the last question, the Ebekanichi. Nana Jantuah.
Yes.
I will be say Osi Ufi MPP Ufi Isha FM because of NPP pressure. Mankind story no info because I don't even trust that source, to be honest.
Yeah.
But let's hear it from the champion's own mouth. Why? Oh, why? Why? Oh, gracious, why, Nana Jantuah? Did you decide to leave Isha FM at this point when your voice is so much needed?
Yeah. Because see, as I'm kind dear, me dasi. The Etienne say, and then now I'm name say nipa domisa. Because he said be unia ketwani me. Then time and na ye show bomono. Monsumo kai mwa moteti ye bi ho on how we analyze issues maturely and all those things. Your upbringing has always been speaking for the people. I went to Insure FM around 2019. I have served for 5 good years. In fact, Nanka, before set time no kreba besono, Nanka umenya Nanka me another contract till 2030. In fact, enya multimedia ne pamo me. Fact, and yes, I was treated badly at multimedia. Another fact, they had wished I stay till 2030 plus. But I think, sir, 5 years had been enough for me over there. I think, sir, academics and so we any other business engagement. The multimedia no, a pressure until you are not able to do other things that could also give you some certain leverage of income. Until for me, I think 5 years was enough for me. Say, meet me, I can say, I thank you for this platform and I want to take other challenges. And more be true. In fact, multimedia nya baby government bet me a show be on me. One of the things I know and say, no government can command multimedia say you way through her and I say you way through her. For 5 years, not in fact they will protect.
They protect and multimedia and Nakasano, they thrive because of the balance, if you ask me. There are certain journalists For instance, Ubekes, oh, journalists or NPP, but within the same organization, Obesan so Viso Kasa, honestly, Ubekes or NDC. So I think that you're much better. But my question can also on June. Say, break it.
Okay. No. But first, my bread, and say so, medroom money zone. What do I say? Because you see, when you're dealing with Nasi can come one. And see, I'm not saying, say, in fact, I was one of the few people who were paid well.
Are you saying you're waiting to be poached by a higher bidder? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, very possible. As we speak, there are five strong media houses who are bidding.
Now, so what bread there? Then why are you going to another media house? What bread multimedia bread?
My bread multimedia bread, no.
Okay.
Because you see, multimedia, no, their structures are when you are they are super eye and as a star now. Ultimately, baby. Oh, they say, a year, minia can come bodua. On the Oba PFM, you will tell me to quite kakra, a jirigo kakra, but what multimedia won't just a chance, no.
I see.
But Bema, when you share to about Kumas, be to visit.
No, be to say, appointment, government appointment, and a person a tune fee honor, and I will resign Boko, you be one and another.
That's the last thing. I will never take any appointment from NDC government. I don't want to. I don't like it. Because I'm a professional person at my level with PhD, I can consult for any government. If the government can hire my services to consult, but the last thing I met Japan is say MPP or NDC. I can never say never. But for now, I see myself more in the media, speaking for people. And so I should be in the media for the next 10 years. All things be equal. I should be in the media for the next 10 years. And I can assure my listeners to say, by January, they are likely to see me coming back to the media, but not with multimedia.
Joe. Said there be assembly the Nina and Watano. Naja try that was I'm sure no bra when your mind any insights. What you would pop up every time you speak is very obvious that you are somebody who applies wisdom to your to whatever you say. Like I said, promising.
Four crown mayama.
Mate.
4 crown mayama. Do can be a member time. And then me point church and I'm saying, Ras, the mini penny from mini choice. It's offer me a dream maker, and I'm saying, hey, there be. And even that's in Sonia Queen. I mean, this is a big platform. We'll all push it. So the uncle for Bettias. Yamin should be an Omumuti.
Yamin Shaw, Nana Kwadwo Jantuah, a broadcaster and also media analyst. You're the CP for the site, the insights and the. Yeah, but your second interview. So really quick, go straight to the second interview because your guest now has been in the green room for a very long time. So we will not waste too much time. We'll go for a very quick commercial break. You buy straight to our second interview for the day. Please stay.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. KULCHA, good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma porridge and cream of lacca when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Hey, Afasha Kasiana ya Chano, bringing ye do. To Kasia Afasha 2025, Edru ho. Okumenini Bafo Asare Chia, Hino Tosumienu, and then an anime way for 2 aqua traditional area, Assin Festival. Tosa Freyina. 30th November, Nanano Musin Chineswa Breaded Ase. Now, Pejano 12th December, 6th November, a cleanup exercise. Or 12th December, no, Yenano was removed for Bedi Numia Bompire area 12. Now, the candlelight procession as alongside bonfire with Jama and Brass Band. Fenumere 8, the Copem 12 midnight. Asafo companies are who in also be shim. Ayamanie. Aquaba night Bekoso Casino Pub. Tutukese Marathon Bekoso 13th. And upper 5:30. If you have a health screen Bekoso Centenary Hall. And upper 9 to 12 p.m. You hear a Adventist prayer. Football gala Bekoso. And a number 95 Connect Bekoso Cloud 95. 14th in Equisi Adano. A Christopher Shim Abompaye. I'm a sin for Sumai. If you have better football games in eso. Ewiano. And a number 9 no ye curfew and blackout. Michira wonshia emuna nananu mbehia enyankoma de e wasene so ne bonaso 15th no efutu akwina be tuntum esa traditional day man schools ina na no panondu no ye be konsrahwe wonnuanu aponimu old school night be koso enumre no e the pubs 16 December ye bunada no nananu mbehia ona na bona abosumfie ayenyankoma de ye fi hoba okumenini e be bonwa ye wi football match no ye beto aso na ye the cooking competition so etuato 17th ye ukuada ne women and children.
Okay, thank you very much for staying. Welcome back to the show. Remember, we're live on www.ghnewsnow.com. Proud media partners for the Tutukesi Festival. Tutukesi Wedie, hey, like I said, to have a festival as a main show. Normally, we say the Gabeko Arts and Culture, right? But there's a lot more to this, so we are going to be talking about it. Na monye monsha musapo munsu monjina ho na moma ina yema me Nana somebody can catch up say me this year was sinful. What I say this year them say me fear him feel but me this year what I say e be man na chen ye no mu ye and so no they make say me this year me say me say e ho ne me nyini ye me ye kasa sinful so I mean my sinful so chen any other town in Ghana, to be very honest with you. And you know my family say me proud citizen. Me for this year into offer now because if you are not this year me frame me him feel. Mamika said me a proud citizen of Assin. You welcome Nana. Nana a member of the organizing committee or so a second this year, Nana in a year this year. Enti momi ya mana kwaba na yemfa ye discussion and shisha. Nana Akwaba. Nana Timika. Hello,
yeah, Ras.
Good. What you mean? Yo.
Yeah, Ras. Me too count.
Yo, me da say. Then I'm pacho umpomo. Hello, Nana.
Yeah, Ras.
Miss me bisa umpomo.
Ras, me hu you. Nyame adom. Oba de bibia boko.
Yeah, then nyame ase. Minim say delay kakra aba humani, so I'm not sure, but we'll make it work. Nana, Tutukesi Festival. Because Tutukesi and no need ye mu bebre. If ye kwa ye Fiase so na say ye kwa ye nim Assin so no kra no. Ye sheda nim Tutukesi ne papa. Ye kase Tutukesi Festival a. Che ye mu kakra me pachopi.
You Ras, I think say yeah, very grateful to get this platform, at least to promote Tutu Kesi Afashe, and eventually get the opportunity to also sell Assin Fosu and talk about Assin mining through this platform. Quickly, Mami Enchia Ekrura Futuakwa Mine Ukumenimba for Asarechia Hina Otosumienu, on any Queen Mother Nana France Otoso and 9. Naminchia a festival planning committee with which Obreda a very key in all this preparation Chemamba Kobeya Ubia Namincha and a chairman of air planning committee so a Aluzu a friend a Patrick Amwa and all members Nina Maminfa Quenya Wesu Obia or Shobiano Namisha Bibia. And back to your question. Ras unim say Omandia ewo culture, you understand? But just what mean can.
Me don't kapana na me pacho kasa. Kosu mami. Nana kasa.
Oh, okay. I think that there was a delay kakra until the moment to me. Now, yeba o question na to Kesie. Say me call historical like president kakra, mami mfa unkwetire kakra. Oba Assin, and which you are only Assin for Sunti, you know the stretch of air Assin from the bank of the Pra River, I because Assin Praso, down to Nyankumasa Hinku. Almost all towns near Ohunina, Praso, Enja, Asempanye, Briku, Jaso, Nyankumasi, Nyankumasa Hinku, all these towns, no, almost 90% Tracy or background back to Ashanti region. Almost omuna Tracy history to Ashanti region. For example, so we baby to say Assin Fusua we are most of Asachri for now core Futuakwano. Bebre Bekacho say Ashanti region, Adanse, Kusa, Adanse Akrocherimo, they will mention in Kra at the other side of Pra River. No? So inti Yebeka say movers and workers of life. They be asana maker. Maminche mukakra. Obia extra prano for a reason. Obia extra prano for a reason. It could be conquest. It could be peace. It could be in search of fertile land. Inti yang efutuaka. Yang Assin for most of the historical Beka Ediafa and culture only say a movie from either Ashanti region, any part of the Ashanti region into this present day Assin for so many reasons. Now I can say tutua. When you go to Ashanti region, there are about 3 reasons why the tutu is used either in festival or for deities. Number 1, you try tutu no at the Kai Santi say tutu. Yes, that is one history behind tutu. Number 2, they are moving, like I told you earlier, from places in search of so many things. And Assin Futuakwa, they were warriors. Into a movement, into a tukotna, enema yebepia. So into Saubasha, Assin Fusu per se, Futuakwa, and yet a Futuakwa no ne Assin Fusu keke. Yewo Adanse Menai, it is in the Ashanti region. But a hoeka bebia Fusufo etutnaya and sana omobaha. Oko Assin Asa Maya. It is also another town and also a new Fusu, outside Fusu, but Nananomo etnaho. Oko Assin Dompim. Oko Assin Adiembra. Oko Assin Odumase. These are all towns that can call Assin Fusu, but they form part of a Futuakwa. So our ancestors came to this land in search of potentially make us a freedom and good land. Na edrum ribia na was say omukai omunchi. So even before I end Tutuno, let me bring a very short history about Assin when a lot of people misconstrue the meaning of Assin. Bebre aya omuka say Assin yes you had the oba o sing and I say what sing tin your friend Assin no. When they came to this part of the land, no, Omu said, aha yes saying baby ana Omu wono. Whoever moved because of war and conquest sought peace here. Into Otun Safre Omo wona, or say, oh baby, I wanted the yes saying the baby ana wono, into Mumbra.
Oh.
When they came for fertile land, oh baby, I want ye dia. Brabe Coco, Adibi Diabiano, a yes saying baby ana wo. It is better than where we used to be or where we were previously. And the better name Assin. Into a yes saying, and a ma Assin be Assin. So it is prudent and imminent say, Obe another ancestors that brought you here has given you peace, prosperity, and make me say a futuakwa can never be ungrateful because we have improved, we have developed. Ras, for now, Fosu is one of the fastest growing Mekas village. I'm using quote, village as in quote. The fastest growing village in Ghana, as in Fosu. I'm telling you. Just about
me back Ghana and say Ghana 2 years ago about now Ghana check if you Ghana na me nyamba Ghana for a very long time. It be some buy na me be who me already me oma. Na me be do Assin Fosu no. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Baby, first name say Onanti could do a wedding some pom now yem show. First now me Onanti could do a bamboo factory hoduma. O trap paper now yem show cause it is our some pom. O could be a wash a moti about
exactly.
Allah muhonuma waka. Who could do you can say a training college on full school. Waka. Say all these parts here almost central Assin Fosu.
Ras, you see, you have a fair idea and fair knowledge about Fosu when you see me in age, so you can relate to when you were in Assin Fosu, how Fosu enclave here. Fosu bamboo factory any obri ebo secondary school. Hona Fosu here. It ends there. The akana eko na chini were cemetery.
Yes.
So Bekaya, baby, Duke's filling station opposite Fita Fonwa, Edi Koning to St. Andrews Inano was completely at a bamboo. This palm plantation.
Yes.
It was the palm plantation na neoho. So Bekaya. Then a lot of forest. And I see Yenwoho. When you come down to Palermo, unya trap a year. Kind of saying where we have the train bridge. Nachirina were scattered settlement be, but today Fosu stretches from St. Andrews Junction, the forest beginning now and then Asinga so a share boundary no way down to Atonsu, a corona boom.
Incredible.
Yes, a corona boom.
Mami so Nana, you can say a futuakwa. Futuakwa a year Assin for super and I say Assin mining in what's the difference?
Okay, so Yan can say in general Assin mine no there were 4 paramounts.
Okay.
Assin mine from Pro River no ne bank now to Yankumasa Yankro, there are 4 paramounts. Number 1, you attendance. I think the oldest paramouncy. Ewo Yankumasa Yankro. You were a Pimanim Paramouncy, and no Assin Manson where the secondary school is. Assin Manson Secondary School. A Hona Pimanim Ewo. You were a Futuakwa, which is Assin Fosu. And you were orange mine Assin Kushia. Kushia where Nana Prajen Samjona Omukrom, a Hoyo Orange Paramouncy. So these 4 paramouncies no interwoven in Crony Bimu, but Omunina esum different paramount chiefs. So Ekutuakwa no 1 paramouncy, but Fosu Yebeka say cultural and administrative town. But now when you go to Adanse Menai, Futuakwa, Fosudia, Oko Assin Asamai, which encounter any Fosu, far away with some area more. Shares boundary with Tufu, any I think Adanse, and so Futuakwa. Oba Assin Dumping. Where you have Kennedy Japan Nikrom and the Unim Dada, a Futuakwa, Oko Assin Adiemra, a Futuakwa, Oko Assin Odumase, which is far away from Fosu kakra eye Futuakwa. So you see the Futuakwa itself no enye Fosu nko. Now Ras, one clarity over Fosua. What's up Fosu pen pa? Now let me show you something. One baby
Radio culture.
Nana Kwadwo Jantuah.
Okay, so now let's delve into Fosu proper. Different kingdoms, different states, different towns are omo ababe shiemu forming one confederacy. Senka Asanteman, sana Futuakwa tie. Eye nkro ye nyina na etu ni ebae ene akambom ene joining force to become one paramountcy or mine baako eno ni Futuakwa mine. Inti number 1, sa wo hwe Fosu a baby a ahemfie no wo no eho ye Techiman. Techiman no eye kuro on its own. Techiman eye kuro on its own. Ye wo ekro frame the other street now ufri wa na wo ko ahemfie no se wonim Fosu eye direct opposite eye first Roman junction when you are descending down to Fosu station. And no eye ekro frame ye kuro ewe ekro frame hene omo no mudi kontre akonwa no ye obutu ase ye wo dantwe ye wo dansoman. All these are towns are etu free baby omo wo no no be bom Fosu aforming a Futuakwa no. So you can imagine say a Futuakwa no nye Fosu nko a ena Fosu mpo no aye nkronkro ena abebom aye baako obi ada ne man obi akita na konwa ebidi kontre ebidi chidom ebidi twafo ebidi adontin omo nyina free one stock of a family or clan, a different clans and boom are forming a Futuakwa no. So that is the Futuakwa.
I see.
So a Futuakwa in general no, is one paramountcy in Assin among the 4 paramouncies. And the Futuakwa is a paramountcy that consists of different towns coming together to form one confederacy as a mine baako a Futuakwa mine.
I see. What shame we papa now Nana Yembra Festival so. First of all, last week, this year board Hudero no, and obi bisa me question. Me mentimi enya no. Na me say metwen yenyawa na waba betwe one my. Na
okay.
Tutukasi Festival me mini Assin Festival, but men kai say me who be that. I didn't think all these years na yen ye Tutukasi Festival no.
Ras, even me little age I met this year over 45 plus no. Me share down to fashion bida. And let's make this clarity. A fashion din eye tutu. And yet to kesi. A fashion din no eye tutu a fashion. But because question now bisa say adenti na acha yendi bi. There are a lot of reasons. Number 1, there were chieftaincy reasons issues were until about 3-4 years and they are resolving. Now we have an Oman hini. And unim say afashe Oman hini na eji. Sub chief division chief biantimi ndi afashe mani nyeye. And they say we inni hini can say your culture is diminishing because untimi expose culture to people. Intene ni hini. Fosu has gone chiefless or kingless for so many years.
Yeah.
But thanks to Nananom and Neye Wohene. Inti na yendi bino, these are the reason. And one chief reason, and they say, na yeni mahine. Now there's a vibrant mahine backed by other good ahemfua, or mu pushing for a new dimension of Fosu development. And Abba say, adia na ato for mache da dano. Yen sign famra. Because as a people, we need to recognize where we are coming from and where we are going. And one key point I bet me they are in Yesu and your culture, a festival. Jadentina 4 years down the lane, mine in Abano, on fine yoma and to Quem, na yendi sa fashion, na emphasa atite, memories no, and kaya no, development no, unity, peace no, and sign babium.
Yo, what's
so
what but 40 years almost too, because like I'm over 50. Now men kaisa me who be that.
Yes. Na umpo na wonkai na yenu de say yen de yankai.
Right?
So what they used to do, and they say
it must have
previously what they used to do, and they say your friend be paigum. Paigum, they say instead of having a lengthy period, I did a fashion. Nana nanum aye a mamre at the akai a money the akai mamre be 2-3 days be na castle. So there has been instances a money a mamre na koso, but giving it the face of a normal festival it has gone down for over 40 to 45 years.
Why?
And the omudi, but and yet mechanism said the complete normal also omudi. Amamrenu enkasa, and you know festival currently contemporary issues women and festival. You are bringing the youth to understand history, but so and distorted youth in so current state so you need to blend the old culture history with contemporary issues and festival. And no be that me who be that. This is the first time in over 45 years. Nana Kwadwo said we will bring back the old historic event. A friend to a fashion.
Your friend see why.
Okay.
You better some other questions. But before I bet to us, Nana, my interest are short video way. Na
Okay.
Swap, ja, Sampana, ye was swap, ja, Besiaku, Dansa me, Assin Breku was swap. In Fiaso was swap, ja, Assin Confident was swap, ja, Yankuma say, ja, so, Assin Ja was swap, Assin Pushia was swap, ja, Assin Fosu was swap, Assin Dumpling, and your brim, in Suta was swap, ja, Assin Ando was swap, ja, Assin Manso was swap, Pamiata, Achia say, Cheche was swap. And so I am what's up, yeah. I say down my what's up, yeah. Ingressy, I send crime, don't me abra what's up, yeah. China so what's up, Seben so what's up, yeah. I'm wabe, Jakai, Busmaje what's up, hey. Yankuma say what's up, yeah. Oduma say what's up, Abba say what they be from, Katachia say what's up, yeah. I say girls what's up, yeah. I say boys what's up, yeah. This your boy, a man crap, Minkoti Amato, I didn't gang, I say boy, hey. I sing girl, I sing girls.
Nana.
Wow. That is impressive. Maintain down.
Oh. Any a man can do my link in a moment, me patch up. I'm offering to me show this so mommy. Show you better show the one.
No, that is impressive. Because see, in the lyrics, what bo Assin in less than 3-4 minutes.
There you go.
This should be an anthem for Assin. I'm telling you, it should be an anthem for Assin.
There you go. And now, according to my big brother, or say, baby ka crazy crampona free. Yes, anka or bone crona to asusa pepe. I'm say baby ka crazy pen na hone ye ka crea. And yes, anka crone so say to asusa pepe. Yeah,
the way I was saying there. Nanka, Braimah say. Chronologically, Grona and Oba, baby, was to the end.
Yeah,
he did very well. Serious, marvelous.
Aman Krado, link up party. Now me introduce you, man. Nana, and for to show na.
I'm so much impressed. Seriously,
I'm happy to hear that. Obi and Kancha, link up. Now introducing it to Nana. Now, I saying, se show bawa will chrome there. Anya.
No, you need to be part. And one thing is that we are bringing Shatawali, so it is also a platform to push Assin young artists more on mobile. Yeah,
exactly. Because show them why. Because Shatawali showed them Assin, but before yes, we share some video way, short one way. Now, all right, go into the festival proper.
Assin Afasha Kasiana ya Chano bringing ye to Kasia Fasha 2025 edru ho okumenini bafo Asare hina otosumienu ene nananome wefu to akwa traditional area Assin Fosu to safre nyina 30th November nananumu sinchine so brede dase na wapeja no 12 December 6th November ye clean up exercise or 12 December no ye nanu muzremi fo bedi enu ya bompa ye area 12 na the candlelight procession ahihye so nimre alongside bonfire with Jama and brass band. Fenumere 8 the copim 12 midnight. Asafo companies ahodo ina so be hiem. Ayamane. Akwaba night beko so casino pub. Tutukese marathon beko so 13th. Anopa 5:30 if you oba health screening beko so Centenary Hall. Anopa 9 to 12 p.m. You hear a Adventist prayer. Football gala so beko so. And enumre no 95 connect beko so Cloud 95. 14th na ekwesi adano. E Christopher be hiem abompaye. Ama Assin Festival. If you hear better football games in so. Ewiano. Na enumre 9 no ye curfew and blackout. Mechire wo nhia. Emu na nananom be hia Nyankoma de. E wasene so ne bona so. 15th no efutu akwina be tuntum. Esa traditional day man schools ina. Na no panondu no. Ye be konsrahwe wo nuanu aponimu. Old school night be koso enumre no e the pubs. 16 December ye benada no. Nananom be hia na bona abosomfie aye Nyankoma de. Ye fi hoba okumenini e be bonwa. Ye wi football match no ye beto aso. Na ye the cooking competition so etua to. 17th ye ukuada ne women and children.
Okay. Normally be to so, but to the young persons who are young because all crowd bit me come more chain than the advert catcher. Now, to alpha share still for this one, you're definitely to catch it's answer you can say. But let's say next one, you have to catch next one to festival. And
it will revert back to Tutu Festival.
Okay, good. Yo, and to catch away, no. Again, I expecting.
Yo, Ras, you see, because I don't know, out of for my check, na nanum person almost page no. I don't think say I will say any biara. Although you can say other festivals, they say fetu afashe abuache no, you know, aje prominence because omo dear no, a check san yebabidi, hence to kesi. So we should expect almost a 10-day packed activities. Right from Friday till 22nd December. Every day has something that Obia would never forget. So witnesses our fashion we are. You will never forget. There are memories to take back wherever you came from. For example, for the first time, Akwaba night Bia was saying inviting diasporans and outside of Futuakwano to come home. So what I say, and sit with friends. So when you lifted ban on Friday, one headline programmer, yes, but this will be number one, a candlelight procession, like a vigil. And everybody around the Futokobia should come around to witness what we will do in a very quiet, sometimes you can say chaotic jama sessions. So there will be a program now. And there will be a lot of fireworks through Asafo companies, traditionally putting culture at its best. And you should expect culture blended with contemporary activities. And you may know we have a Akwaba night at one of our newest pub casinos. And see, I did an animal near traditional amamani near the contemporary and Kalano any Mebrun so the so the Maumo. Because without them, we are afasha umvanko baby edija and we are teaching them history about Besenkwa Omunyebi. Then again, there are a lot of people who wish to see Assin Fusubat Omati Keke. So we are bringing people to see historic site. For example, the whole West Africa. For some time now, only Assin Fusupen immigration training school. And I'm saying or tepa nomine adie. But immigration academy, any training school, Assin Fusune will be breate through a fashion way. You can come and look at it. From 1965, you see a Fosu Training College, Bebreate, but Omunda. Nice historic educational center. But just what I say. You were in Indian forest. Gradually, a nekakumni air boom. And we have a lot of amamani and money and ananumbeyo. Who will be our say, like, who explore nature, that this is the time to visit a Assin Fosu. And there are a lot of.
Because we are tourism as more. Yeah. Going forward, you better promoting us more of an international tourist event. We crap with national. May quote to Kese. Would call all kind of different other way. And to say you can't tourism now. What would be such a but highlight what my kakra say obi fee am anonymous or but what are some of the things that be interesting or more power?
Fosu Akwakoye, what I say, another town. bebia ni ho a wugina ofosu a wontimi ntukwan ko ewo Ghana ha bebia. Yes, that is why business is booming now in Assin Fosu. I'm telling you. People are going into building and construction because ufa praswa oko Cape Coast oko Ashanti region. Ufa Kropon kwan so oko Eastern region. The main road right away N9 the oko Boko eko Burkina Faso. Cape Coast Takrade edoko Elibo eko Western region. Ufa Accra Mankessim Accra edoko you are going to the border so Tremana okwa edoko Togo border. So in Assin Fosu baby ujina bia ofosu bia person tukwan ko Ghana bia you can move. So now transportation system is becoming a booming venture Fosu. So when you are coming, it is true. Udim said Fosu can one of the biggest districts produce cocoa.
Interesting.
Yes. Do your research, Fosu environment. And you see, recently, the CEO of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abbey, I visited Assin on 2 occasions because of cocoa farming.
I see.
So this is the time we need to showcase what Assin or more potentially they want to go into farming. People want to go into build a real estate. Because a crony yekese and as I saw a month for bar, they can start building. Now you were nursing training school, you were training college, you were immigration training school, you were almost 3-4 senior high schools. So when you are into real estate, people now join. What I say, and we have 2 market days. It's a vibrant market day, Tuesdays and Fridays. Adia upatobiano, you can get it in Fosu. So when you are coming to Fosu, a potential business avenue, obet me and look back. So the Kashemo.
Yo, now me funny say, Obia or forest be one semi idea. Obia or person be a bird watching and also be interested in for Frantonia idea, those type of things. No, your natural habitats go on, man. I'm off waiting a cock who be beside BB is should be near the BB.
Yeah. So Kuntuo forest this is a natural habitat. And in Sio Onwa, very nice river running through Assin Fosu Eko Onwa. There are a lot of sightseeing, not in Assin Fosu proper, but it environs now that I'm telling you, Fosu, aye Kesiama, other towns nina ababe join, you have opportunity to view a lot of natural scenery. Ebia now nimse oho. But you have the opportunity to do it.
I see.
But
what can rivers are saying and Bettinsi River? But some people who say you are seeing for super because names stand when you know for sure you don't know this state.
Culture.
Bettinsi those days now me papa crado chairman for football club there for the Bettinsi United.
Bettinsi yeah.
There were two major football teams that were Assin Fosu. Soccer missionaries and Bettinsi United. Now, because me papa here, of course, that you know Bettinsi United for the Bettinsi River there. One of the major deities ever Assin Juana, the educated Kakra be named was.
Yes, and everyone was a campo just yesterday. Omahini any assembly this municipal assembly a campo a cleanup exercise. And one major focus, trying to work within Bettinsi River, and subsequently dredging it. Now you create tourist attraction. You see where the market ends, Bettinsi Bridge, So So anyway, just to give the river free flowing and it banks, Omadia India or here, but we need to reinforce Indiana planting the near shade around where we can create some leisure sitting place. Be a tourist people coming to Assin Fosu in the evening, can just have some quiet time, nice time. Because Bettinsi one of the oldest deities Assin Fosu, and untibinya bibia wabra traditionally onkai Nana Bettinsi. It has been a force aboya who by all this while, and it still exists. It still works in that in that deity form.
Mami share interesting story being show. Number 4 at the best at the AP. Back in the day, me in Assin Fosu, not ye need tap water or anything like that, right? Maybe there is sense.
Yeah.
But in sin and another year no. Now,
Exactly.
Now the people were so smart. Say you will be a yes son, and you will be a the aka. What you say? It will be a yes son crano. The kind of idea so a far bucket a qua near ya udu a woman rob pabwa. Ultimate pump of one consuming. Who says yes? So I see Benjamin Bread, but that's not it's normally not such a crow. Menka, you do seriously. And so the river flows downstream. It's a bad down now. How about to say a swimming room, a bimu the piano, but there will be you don't even mess with that side at all. I want to know. It's but it's in a major part said they're working. Now, Mammy so now we say the ocean advertising they do be a better Assin Yeso any bonaso. Say honeymoon kakra na face but in sin so can Assin Yeso ne bonaso no ana me pata tribuche na.
Yo Ras Nana Bonaso no who say a chrono niti estati free obri eboa. And I'm sure Bamboo Factory and I'm sure you well know that.
Yes.
One who say na Mususano, I'm taking you back to times. One say Mususano na a duabi onyina duabi esi for sorry obri eboa school nimu. Okay.
Vaguely, yeah.
There was a very thick, tall onyina tree.
Yeah.
Nasino, Nana Bona Pusubain ewo. And Nana Bonano is the only the Evan said when you want to enter Fusu, you need to pass Bona and San Rem. Into a man bibia also cautious free bonaso. A date here and non a ship Fusu, I say in terms of entering and exiting when you're going to keep Kumasi. But that's what I say. Into yeti any bona. And it's a best swat or man hinibia and now hinibia or yapaka in here. Yako swano ewo bonaso. Say I'm for him uncle apejafi uncle swana. There be a chronity chassis no a honey swap and Fosuno bona any chronity. Into a date one. And now as on yes no baby insio bia and a date bia ne you can say na say baby ya money manu and no as on yes no so as on yes no only one nana betinsi one as on yes so I drew a money na memra yekoye nana onwa e wona as on yes so e drew a yekoye money e wo ho insio a e wo fosu ni na na bia wona as on yes so and as on yes simply means where date no ye gun sama no ye amane de ma no e ho ne aso ne so but bona de enti bona nana bona no any say ono no ye chronity. When you want to do everything you go to bona and start from there o your mind o your hini bia uni mamamre ne amane a that is where you start udi bibi be kroni mu na wan kai bona betinsi ombeje they will neutralize it and they still work today. Me I am a testament of all this eye dumane na mafo na omunji bibia nintia but when sasem ni sipe na fe ye ko hwe native doctors no amoma kwako yi apaye de ama omo yes still ye ngindi.
I see. Yo, Nancy back to festival.
Okay.
Yenka say yenfa say mpanyifo no be e wo de be interested and na first be interested.
Exactly.
Many generation no up. Na me buy the answer na ohwa e be mama nyaje pa out of a normal be bring e be see wo hodi na 10 days ni na no.
Okay, so generation now more even say mechanic say Gen Z for near any into mo dey fa mo and to aso nko. You see mostly mechanic say you preserve the culture for us because you have been there mo hu eniema ye ni dey any aye be dey you sua dey free mo ho. So as part of more continuity no culture now we expect it say they will see ndi bida uhu bi ache no it is a time to witness that culture again. As for displays most of the times enye ebia eye bi na aba and enye sebia fashe bia most of the times you hu asafo adwuma mpo biem. You continue for us and you teach we yani Gen Z for now here ba no. So when you are coming to revisit culture again and here number one. Number two, let's look at Fosu for now. Say baby Fosu kwakudunu. You may need to revisit a lot of places. Wa cry be shock say hey, into Fosu pa na dru say. So as a tourist attraction, you also going to relive Fusu again. Number 3, you hang up with a lot of people, our mate, and that is why we are calling people to come back home, and we have this Aquaba night.
That's right.
Number 4, whatever you've made outside Biano, we expect you have opportunity to invest. There are radio stations in Fusu, but for now, I'm telling you, there was only one radio station. Now there are 4. People are craving for TV stations because the market is becoming a little bit expanded. And we need that kind of inflow. So mumu say sabi muwo ading any sabi nyansan wo de mu yenimu no enye mu krampa. You can advise people to go into trying to establish a media house. Who you kept goes through ubechema kwa asante bekwai. Now Kumasi. Fosu is the only town what it takes to host anything our person as a metropolitan city or the municipal.
Okay. Now say you back number 4 no. There may interested me part no one count. Ediane.
Oh, really? What is it? There is a part to be now. Yes, said your minimum penny for no cooking competition, and we're not going to talk about contemporary food or cuisines. We are talking about Ediane. Pay one number per phone num fufu sa can say MP. You see those Ediane, it is not in the system again because fried rice no more baba betty. So there is a part a full day activity cooking old traditional dishes. But notwithstanding oba fusua, let me tell you there are a lot of joint ubenya fufu akrantie nam ubenya ochinam bush meat because we have say raz you know yenye empoano for enti yene nsumnam no ye the Cape Coast neighbor. But as far as we are in the forest oba ye the bush meat ebebo. So you get quality traditional food fufu edi. Then there are a lot of contemporary restaurants, any lunch you are saying so they will give every continental dish bia upebia wife two aha Barbivan ewo finest ewo Black Hood ewo Campbell Hotel ewo a lot of them because of so for food we are ready, and there are people also trying to make sure say none and obebo beka say oh me buy and papa and no, it is not true.
Now you were enough hospitality facilities. The projected Nepal Bobeba, there were enough hotels, any guest houses there to handle the crowd of people here and anticipate some Beba.
Ras, I must be frank with you and I must be honest. I don't think any Beba Fusuno we can have a complete 100% accommodation as in but we are trying because we are having emerging hotels what international standard. Any way bimuswa a normal standard. Obia began and who they are them. But mami, we are hosting 5,000 plus people. We are our mobile. A bad thing say Yebeka say you enough accommodation with Makita. So we are praying say at that time they say Yankomasa in Krumdi Baninano, their hotels will be available. Some pobit me under normal buffalo so abe witness event nina or ebia kushia pras on. There are a lot of can say facilities who are a bit me are reinforcing what we have in Fosu. But let me tell you something. Ebia obaye una watch it, but I can tell you we have about 4, 5 to 6 hotels a meeting international standard. I've lived in Dubai for almost about 6 years. So when I talk about hotels, I know what classes of hotels are. But it will be Fosu. There are a lot of hotels among them Dubai. I can tell you they can equally rub shoulders with them.
Interesting.
Campbell Hotel, Hollywood Hotel, Barbivan Hotel, Joyce Plaza. You can get facilities and a fashion about every standard. They have just upgraded it. We went around to look at facilities and it will wow you to know say a lot of rooms are not old fittings. They are doing all of them into a new model because of air fashion in here. So hospitality wise, we are preparing, and I think we will meet the number that are coming. And 100% grandpa, we know for sure, say there will be memories among for the Fiaco.
Absolutely, and again, this is also a clarion call. Say there is an opportunity to invest because to two festival no a bet was and to going forward you mean say okay we are no matter about so okay we start a cribia main concourse hotel for the subsequent one you know thank you very much for that. Now for Yembra number 4 so again I be attracting the youth to this festival.
Okay, so number 1, what the planning committee focusing on much education. One key clarion call is to make education a pillar saying and improve it. And to say we've already finished one activity a quiz for schools within a Futuapa. 3 days ago anyway final no. So yen lifted ban no cry na 12 ne mine a fashion activities no e bi cry wie. So number 1, contemporary youth they need to learn. There are many who can be what to be, but through this fashion way a lot of youth on radio, on platforms, on social media, and in fear you better we need to equip them. Number 2, the youth will be exposed to live BI. For example, there are youth here who are into the music industry, the showbiz industry. This is a timer. Yes, you promote you. So if you are in that industry, you have an opportunity to be on stage even before Shatawale will come. Number 4, it is time for the youth to understand. Say, omukrono. It is time. Omusube project chrono. And there are a lot of bloggers are more into social media and social TikToker. Yeah, as planning committee. A lot of videos, but individuals are projecting it. And we seem to enhance some knowledge now among for one. So there will be what we call a seminar for a youth, where people will come on board to talk about career activities, to talk about Insanujuma, to talk about education. So we have placed the youth also onto a platform. Then you come to entertainment. There is going to be a massive float. I actually did Green Carnival float. A lot of sponsors are on board. 19 December, Airbaso, to the principal street of Assin Festival. And we want to make it just like Omuye, you can say Omuye Orange Friday or Cape Coast. So the youth also have the opportunity to fraternize with Omunko for Omunyanum, any Omumate in Omubeba. Then we come back to Saturday, no. There are no there, but the youth have a lot of things to learn, people to meet, to fraternize. Then Enyumreno, we give them one of the biggest nights in Ghanaian history. A fashion night, and Sebi say Fusu to Kesi fashion at for matches. So the artists Abia Bakumi, we are bringing the street king to Assin Fusu, Shatawale. So we are giving the youth some kind of dose beer. In fact, I just have him. And here once again, we are also trying to say all those in the industry will have the opportunity.
Hello, Nana. Oh,
Radio, culture.
Yes, represent live even before.
Radio, culture.
Nana Otemeka.
So Kapa Ras.
Good. Yo, nice. Sa enumrani there me penya beshe. Now, by the way, viewers, we will be there live. Like I said, we have presented Sunday show. That's the last Sunday of the festival. No,
okay.
Live from Assin Festival, right?
Great.
Yeah, the team in our Assin Festival. Yeah, but we cover live from Assin Festival. And the show we live from Studio 2 will be moved from Kumasi to Assin Festival on that day. Nana, Mami Bisao, Money ministries be a collaborating on this, and a Ministry of Tourism, for instance, Chief Ministry Affairs, all of that. No, or more you're involved in to Kesi Yard. And if so, I think no more a deba.
Okay, yeah. Ministries on say interior is on board because yes, celebrity festival there, but Assin Festival and a training school, immigration work. So at least they have to also come back to help where Ghana immigration for tourism. We've been with them and they'll be coming with an entourage. and I think they will be covering most of young programs, you know. So the ministry is also part of young preparation. Chieftaincy, so we've gone right to national, then region and so on. And one key thing is young special guests, or therefore Amwakwa Bodu, our Braimah Eskuma Manhini, and or president of Central Regional House of Chiefs. So you can imagine we bringing that man, that personality on board, you know, means how far we've gone with the chieftaincy industry and sector, no.
Now, I did about me bomb about so pa and say, Mutimi, I can't send them on this. I have some. I was in for some ababedenti. Obia anti said it will be a better to say it to ya midamante. Obia anti said it, what Mutimi were coming with Bobby. Yante, the miniman said, nah, he's some war, and the boy, you know. Now he said no etra she say no in ayaba together ayaba be yet to KULCHA festival. It just say ejuma kosopa in the background. Ya be bomb about says I say Mr. MC wo krampo say wo hompa na usapa. And so say wa be one of the people who dimunt intimaya motime dey peace aba senke obia bibia Ghana ahisem obia na kiyetimi aye ni say ya senke be boa ana.
Yeah, Ras no cre the bia me come say Ahinsem in Ghana, it is taking a different turn altogether because of certain reasons. But we are fortunate to have a long protracted Ahinsema ne wofosu and Nana Roma. Sisia Bibia Banawiye Amitimi can say we have peace in Assin Festival in terms of Ahinsem chieftaincy issues there. Kakran Kakrabe woho, if ye DB Bakubi, Yankasa 100%, we are okay. But once we have an Omangini who is sitting in state and conducting affairs as paramount chief of Futuakwano. We are fortunate to say the Okano, Yenti, Tubia, Tubia, Safashin be and Tiasia, they have where they have to address it, the appropriate quarters. But for now, no, I can tell you 100% say Fusu is peaceful. Yede ban on noise making by a true traditional setup, no, backed by a assembly and the security services. But Ubia diso. You may have one beer, but on a whole, everything is going according to plan. So we are fortunate to have a system where your hands have no anya bloody and yamimpo empengu ANC because right now we are trying to learn certain things we have discerning people who sit down to analyze a lot of issues and some about a follow bibia. I'm young anyway. I understand how the chieftaincy issues in Assin and even in Ghana do works. And you know, when I'm talking about it, I am a little bit careful about certain issues. But sensitive matters be over. Sometimes it mean come on air there. But Fusu is peaceful as far as chieftaincy issues are concerned. Ras.
Nana better was CP. Na Sunday abekono. Meyamao akwenya naka o la final words. Eche. She watching bibia bi me say me ba fufu be wo ho enti no ba o means me ba
exactly
me say me ba so me say so nya nature bibia metimi akwa jema ho me metimi say you know holiday you know my vacation me nya bibia matumba dweme papa me chia me komina for any me nuamo me ho mo che ani ade me say so nya very rich cultural experience metimi hu ahisem say the see ani ade ni bibia you know pacho but the tougher mind
so Ras, the mechanism on behalf of the planning committee and Nananum, we are much grateful for
Radio KULCHA.
Yeah, Ras, what's it mean? Yeah, this platform is an avenue. I'm telling you, it is going to help your publicity and your media sector because you're launching. No, your team came down to Assin Festival, and when I look at the responses from that quarters, now you're very very massive. They're also being we give thanks to Omangini. For Asare and Nana Aka for having this kind of visionary leadership skills omo assign the culture, history, traditions assign the ababim. Then the planning committee headed by Patrick Amoa, any honorable Fifi Baku, of course, brother. So vibrant. And when I talk about vibrancy, this man is full of ideas. Now me catch diasporans now me for talk for asking for say there's time now for you to come home and see what mo asking for so any massing here. You invest in, put your sweat. Some of us here in time now at the developing and helping us sing. So it is time you, including Ras, Munina, Mumbra, you have a lot of things to do, part to play. Na yempeja sing to a level where yensu betimi akasadi and sa esi your chest. Say yensu sing for. Thank you very much.
Nana medawasipi wanu na yenyanwie yo. Say na mesia kan ye beba tin ne beba hoti ye ba ombehwehwe na afi yasane obekasa bi while the festival is actually happening, no.
All right.
What so na make us we no nie we ni say but in see no more kwa me team no me pa cho bon form onko na.
All right. All right. Oh, no problem. I will be ready anytime. You over for me. Even if it is not about the festival, anything you want us to discuss, I'll be 100% ever ready.
You can be sure of that, sir. Yabeba will now be between Yan Chima to Kese and San Mabio and San Yabefrewo. The new Kase we did to Kese between this and the next to Kese. The same people hold my Baba pet while.
All right.
Now,
all right.
Okay. One last appeal. Mini pano mankrado me pamuchopi more money and open for Shatawale bame. Ebeman so much me pamuchopi.
Mate, it is OTA on linky up.
OTA wa
OTA on linky up. We'll talk about that one.
No man abeshishona na medasipi. Answer the bekono. My year enjoy a mankrado view and sana.
Okay. All right. All right.
Amankrado, what's going on? Let's go.
Assin Festival, what's up? Sampana, yeah, what's up? Besiakon, Dansame, Assin Breku, what's up? In Fiaso, what's up? Assin Confide, what's up? Yankuma say, ja, so Assin Ja, what's up? Assin Kushia, what's up? Assin Fosu, what's up? Assin Dumpling, and Yabrim, in Suta, what's up? Assin Ando, what's up? Assin Manso, what's up? Pamiata, Achiase, Cheche, what's up? Inside what's up? Yeah, I say down my what's up? Yeah, Ingressy, I send crying. Don't yabra what's up? Yeah, China so what's up? Seben so what's up? Yeah, Amwabe, Jakai, Busmaje what's up? Hey, Yankuma say what's up? Yeah, Oduma say what's up? Abba say what take big room? Katachia say what's up? Yeah, I say girls what's up? Yeah, I say boys what's up? Yeah, this your boy a man crap to. Minkoti amatodo. Kading I say boy, hey sweet. I sing girls, I sing girls.
Yes, catch Amankrado at the show with Shatawale on the 20th of December. We will be there to cover it as well. Nana, and you're very impressive. Say, we are so young, not owning so much about Baby Ofi. I don't know, the pride as a young man will show in Baby Ofi. That's what gives me goosebumps. I am so impressed with him. Anna.
Seriously, and I make us like it is marvelous the way or mention Assin Kuninano. It's just like a Bible of Assin now, you know. So that's what I said. It could be an anthem for Assin. Unim Assin Krobia, just visit Amankrado or the socials then listen to Amankrado. Ubehu Assin Kuninano Abubono. So he's so proud.
It could be one of
I'm saying, I think going to be Bob Bonina.
To be honest with you, my students not for so fully like that. My parents want to make now for the most part, but now me to come say more. If you know, yet still
luckily in Kono almost I know about 99% in Konina. So into on board team, yeah, on board team. It's actual in Kono in an order. Almost about 80% complete.
There you go. Nana, the WCP. Let's say they can be share a to KULCHA Festival. Even if they
Okay. Bye.
Nana Kuntuo Asare, a part of the organizing team for the Assin Festival or Sansu. Nana we are here meba ewa himfie honum. Okay, I'm saying Nana line so enti yedi besi hanum. Thank you very much for staying with us and for being part of this segment. Moma yanko very short commercial break. Yeba. So not too long ago, yet he said there was some kind of confusion. Fiaso. Fiaso for HSN, National Security for Bibaho, Ebetutu, Ebi Prepra, Ebi Omoche bullet shells near the Yababe Dihun Komo. Na ye waye next guest are ready say obeba any ababi disam komono be pamochopi munjina so mamonko ye ko very short commercial break ye ba ya ye ne Abdullai Braimah our spokesman for the Fiaso community no eba be din komo e de ne si ye e wo Fiaso nti e ma national security for eba hobetu tutu. Please stay, we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Okay. What's going on? All right. Thank you very much for staying. Yanko straight to our next interview with Abdullai Braimah. Before that, let's watch this short video.
Say Yebenya justice, because justice is not here. Whenever there is a conflict between two parties, say who a police officer, we know say you are independent. And we are independent, na say asemsi auba interrogate them, investigate ubisa both parties. Until ubisa na who say the situation no enya here you can arrest a leader of this side and arrest a leader of this side. Na udi omwako na moye de mwakasa akire omo
tutu okura bibika medan soro ndona man bokoto ayibi aseto polia de badu batari so na sanka no tutu ya nyebe binda no sai basa na miti pe kar kamiso sami ba tubiri ka ko de sa abawodro simeni ma furu gboro ma Fiase we na papa mu ni nti dia mbrante ndi bakuru demo ya sramo mon konje ya
mo nansu dom se omo ba na omo ba be chia yenim die free say ye national security say ye obi machos ye ntimi hu na omo be si mpenimfo e kwan say omo ma kwan ama omo nkochia ampa ye nti omo ma kwan ama omo nkochia nso ne say omo be chimponche Salahine and Kola and Manche and Ponchino. And so, and you know,
okay, let's invite our next guest. Abdullai to the show. Now you need no ending come on. Alright, Abdullai Braimah, Yemawa Kwaba, Eba Like Culture TV, Radio Culture. Alright, Braimah. Hello. Alright, Abdullai Braimah. What's your name?
Yo. Yeah, Maura. Aha. Majeso.
Yo, me pachoni.
Hello, Majeso. Hello.
Yes. Alright, Abdullai
Braimah.
Yo. Yeah, that's the when you Braimah. Na, you know to their course no. Oba trim kakrache. E dey poti na so ho. E dey na ekoso.
Yeah. Mesramo. Ni akoso ne say Nano 24th. Nana Krom ha Fiase hima ewuye. Eka baby. Na 24th no nkrofo bi ba ha betututuo ekunkumwa basa emmo na mukuwa ne dia master eseweni. Nte eba sa no obi anka ohwe ye kumwa ne ye to warning shot. In chance dance wor ababa obakasa ababa no kwa o manto. Nte ebo Fiase ma nyina hu. Nte omo ye sa no wie ya omo koye no ni Tuesday omo sign by nti Tuesday omo buy no na nana odikro Fiase dikro na wa ton san frɛ sisala hene ne mpanyifo se ne maame awu nti o si omaye nti 24th ne di 23rd ye di kan command Shaden ya man Shaden wie na odi tu ye nim se ya mebo abra na anopa ya moden se ya baba ho by 8 na ya mejam na enyina ya nyenteto ya ansa na mpanyifo aba ama ya ye na maame so asɔre na omu akosie no ntampa de achi brada no ye ready se ye kɔ tie koduru honom no ye ya duru hono na omo no so se hima bi fritashima ɔne ne dom ana achia no nto omo chia wi ana na sala hene so ne mpanyifo na to aso omo so ba abachia nte hima ni chia wi ya ebe kɔ na hu se national security no for no baako ekan be wura house na sala hene bi anchia wo ha sala hene bi anchia wo ha ana omo bisa ne dwom ho se adan na sala hene bia enchia ana omo se omo akwase ho akɔchi aboa so omo di be ya amamre na sala hene ama omo aboom na ba akon atwituo ama warning shot nto ho ana nti na sante omo ma obia enkasa emechia ayina ase nti me kase bi no ko gina na sala hene so se open gidigida na open boko me kase no nti yedare ani aye ko no aye koduru Fiase clinic ana nana forkon hene ma omo stop ye se ye ntwen no ho nti yete ho ana o ma ne chiame ne mpanyifo bi bae ana ombe entebe ya na ye kyerese ne enti anka ye ba ho a ombe pame no si yo nyame ma ya botre na still aye ntwen de hye bi ben ho ye frɛ na ata o se ye ntwen no woni fie nti ye wo ho ana o sama jase hene ne adehipanyini omo ba ho ana ye no omo kasa ya na o se nana forkon hene si enkofi na mepam no obefrɛ ye nti ye de ya nte hwe ya date amangudua na ase a na ehun se obi boy bi ye frɛ Shaibu odi Amerika edi moja ne nsa ne moja tatatata ba ya so to oba ire na sala hene se Shaibu de na ayonsa o se national security for ba ase ho omo ba ye no omo na tunu tuo sa no se o ye den no se omo ba ye no mo hwa branch bi ye frɛ abrantia ne shasha ne di ankasa di Shaibu hadi nto omo bo no na obia ankoje no nipa mi no kota wires no omo hwe no na nipa nan so kotatu amoma warning shot nto obia suru se obeben ho na on the essence sa boy no ni eye ni nua panyini nse on the we bold ekoho se owu a owu nkwa ana okọ so okọ akọgine nua ana omo tu ni tuo ni nsam me kese omo to ni nsa etuo na sala hinde sa ne o fanko clinic to di ko clinic omo treating no omo se ababa ndi omo ntimi nyi o fanko techima na omo nkoyi te eba sa ye de nim ni aba ne etia ne se boy no ya kina akotum e police station
ya born in Satuo no
omo chi ni kotum na ye ni ai ya born in Satuo no me ka say right now me kasa na ye 7 July 7th December boy no o sign da odada police custody with ababa no ya nya ne hwe yese na no omo di ne court no ma remand no 1 month minim so omo koy omo ka kire police for no se ya born in Satuo so man kan o minim abra obi obo obi asum kra edu ko police station a yese kohwe na ansana wa oyedna aba na ye bo obi nsam tuo ababa elder hello
jaho mame o se
ababa da won nsam nipa ne da says echo 2 weeks ai ababa da kunu ai
twaso mame
hello
twaso me pacho
aha nte eba san boy no omo clinic for no ka so fan contact me no munyi ababa no nti se ho no wo ko no omo chi no se den ye de nim nti ewie na sala hene se case say de jesi ya reporto nti chairman ko police for akache okwa commander na nkasa ko bona mane se asem sei na asi Fiaso nti ana commander no 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 akasa ni ho ni deputy na ho ana say na me kasa no makasa ajebi na me sa den o say nsem esisi ho no mechoma ne baya o mantimi ne national security for no o mo free police for na police for no coin na die na si ye manka na me say na me ni ho sa cases ni nyina American eye boys no dom na national security for kotwa mo batobasa no omo na bebo me amane na omo ka police ase na police ase mo ebam ni say omo say national security for no ko omo ko free police for ema omo buy na police for no buy no anka oye say basabasa biasi baby na say national ohun police for na soldier for onim say asonwe na omo de ba na ni omo hunu yan say police for no su duru ho no na omo twe ya fan say handcuffs omo be hye boy bag omo di be hye boy bag ko nsa ana mbrante say na mo chi boy na akwahe mo buy na di asem na mabisa yen mo chi ya makwan ma mo chi boy no me kese na omo so ama warning shot no ne bebre ho nto omo warning shot na a friend nipa dom kra afi na nipa abamo na boys no echire omo hu say police won hu say still omo ama warning shot no still na nipa ba ana omo ya adubro ana eja omo kasa ya na omo ekoye na me ka kire police ni say police commander say ni ameti ye ni ma to say batman to say omo abu police ni ana say omo abu bia ti me ba ye no ana ade chenye be ya ntehwe ade chenye me ko me sa ko boy no ho me ko na o say oda omo de na call remind 1 month nti up to now boy no dada remind
ma yanko ye chika
ne nsan so ya anya hwe abeba wo ne so
ma yanko ye chika kana me bisa asem ni mu ye
hello
yeah me pacho ma yanko ye chika kana bisa asem ni mu ye se say no o kasa ina me sisala hene sisala attack ni ye sisala for and security for na attack your mo na say ye Fiase and ye ko ni say Fiase and Fiaso
eye na se de kra eye na se de ya menho kra eye no wo ofri tachima ba begin first diner over to answer na wagura kurum no hono mo ye eye no ana bebia kaskasa sikosi ye last end corona wie ye
enti da me bisa ni say
o ten crofo no na di
for na wo kano omo attack sisala for anasa omo boru akroni mu no obia na omo ye ni sa
national security na
o say
ana police for no
o kasa no o say omo o say na sisala hene esi okochia eno mo so omo mane nchia ena obi ba obetu ena bibi sa attacks nyina no sisala for na attack yomo and say a chrome ho phone nyina ena national security for no this as a medium
o hwa first day ni dia basabasa ni dia kuro ni nyina na mo chichimwa na second day no so na nya nipa baako omo ko nipa one boy bi pe na omo ko no ho amobo na boys no ko ka say omo nhia aye to baako tuo ntina ya no kra necessarily hene na wonte ye on de nti ni asi kra nti on de se nya moja na boy baako ni di ba ya nka oni se bibi kra si ase ho
okay let's say
nya sala fo
jo na mami sambusa o se omo back from first day no on betutu to ball and moa sesen so omo kore moa na
omo kunkum mo be ne ye de ni mi sese hini bi wu a me ba ha hemfumi ni na wu ha mahunu baako omo nkum akokọ kra baako nso omo nkum moa batika kra bi moa na omekọ funeral ground ho no eno de onsan but so men nanti kroma tututu motokim mmerechire motokim mienu ne ka bi de me hunu bi da
buo ebo mmerechire
esan hunahuna nipa bebre more than 100
sesen so mo
na mo san hunahuna nipa say warning shot na mo ma no e kire say
me kire ho ni ma me kakra
warning shot
sesen adi ti na mo tututu abomwa no esan se mo ano
ni so mo hunahuna kuro no Emo na omo chechenti omo nim se obi be kasa. Ye no ho ahunahuna na omo di tutuo no.
Now, what you did among some financial security?
Eno ntade na hihye wo.
Okay. Now you're sure.
Eno ntade na hihye wo. To minim de simetwe men na omakofa national security ntade ahihye wo. Se de omi de minim ne but ne minim ne se omo ntade ahihye wo no national security ntade bi kura di face mask ahihye wo manim.
Yo, na mama bi sawo. Ohini na wewu wo ho no. Again, connection and no another again ties no what to abide until was a national security for BPO. And I say ho no na assume ni national security for ba ho.
Otie.
Mitio pa.
Otie. Radio link for Freya your friends say national security omo boss no. Interview no. Ojitum say on na man ba ha but mo Fiaso for Asare ya basabasa no ma mba ho abra obi amia ba obi akra ntehwe
na say ya basabasa se
police o ma nja se ma mi kenia ma me won jira so ayo ya na kire ya adwen ya se obi mo nka bi maye no senka ya de ha de oye obi from so kra ya mfa nko police ya mfa nko ahimfie just national security.
Eja sama wo ken ujina so se bibia waka bia ye no kre ye kohwehwe mo ebe mu se enye se bia mokokọ yi bibia
eja
for ne ba ho
eja pacho me wo age of 65 years me nitro because minim say me nkwa nia matwa no echen nia me betwa ntimi nitro na atemuda me makwa akonya ho asoken asem bia maka bia tro do me nitro.
Okay. So same way enyansie na ye behwehwe mu ye me ka say ye producer no and fre ti o mo so ye nyanya o mo enti no na wotwe ye beto aso ye ja me pachopi ye besa afro na ye ti asem ni mu ye no ya sa ba be ye bi na bibi o hobi wa won kan kire ya
I boy no that custody no ono na police custody no na sem kra na youth no ye kasai eno ho kra na ma titru na ma ye press conference no nso ne ya hunu ni say krom ha ana baby a Ghana mrem say ochi kronfo kra na obono na odi ko police station wo ma ko treat no ansa na wo ma age no na mo aba obi tuo asa kina kotum without treatment nipa ne dedem anensan pro. Me new statement am come here the police one etimi nipa ni tum.
Mentiasia kra mentiasia. Tsena mishika ye be hwehwem ye.
Obo bi esum kakakra kwa yesese. Na obi pa ya twitu ato aba obi nsa. Na na komasa de na tum.
Na ejase obi anwu ye de we saba say nyina mu obi anwu ye.
Basabasa. Kese obi an sheda nya basabasa o. Nipa na mo take na boy ne pata no. Eno hu ehu anto boys ne ko ya so mo njai mo mpese mo njai no. Ana say nipa ba na mo ba na ma national security for no dwane mo ko free police for. The police for no ba no police for na nka ya ma basabasa ma. Esa say ne asi no mo ba mo anya hwehwemu bia mo ba ye force na mo so mo ba bi yusu. Abranka mobile na senka peace adwuma ana mobisa ne asia basabasa baha bibisa ma na mo atwe handcuffs mo twe handcuffs na mo pe boy ba ko di ahye nsa so boy no bas through national security for no emba yenum no so boy no so mo hu se on sa twitu apie nto mo be pe na ache no na obi akotatu nan a wono ma wono hyeto wato aba obi no wono de mo mpe ne nche no.
Na so
no na kire ya adwen ya say asen we dia je say aban IGP mpenyifo obi a oka bi a ewom bia no muntie man na munka bi man
mo dia koto mo MP nim obi oye an assembly member mo local unit of we say no mo dia semi akoto mo nim mo dia to ekrom ho hini nim
that MP that be
anamu nim MP
sa na mo yenye ntu ye
Mami bisa first. Fiaso no ewa himfa.
Yeah, well, MP, but I'm saying we need touch. I'm saying we need touch mine. Yeah, well, MP, but I'm saying we need touch mine.
Eti Techima MP NFM so.
I just say
Techima MP NFM so and Fiaso no Techima constituency I say ana. Let's say mo MP no
MP for touch my south.
South.
Yanyam fan to nim. Na on say DBR Mranti and youth no omo ba me so DBR omo ba asem no dia no waya koduru asem be na up all a press conference or yeah dia na dia bana afrimu aba just say me bia nta amama dwen cry he metifia nti eto de bia me sare na papa na madwane akoshefu because youth no de bia dia chi eba bia no de bia omo ba me so
emia so muti emia obi ebeto share so a enye obi fofo na do brebe ni nipa na oboa wo no e na odi we ni brebe kon so munjai ora Braimah na on di munim cause enye ono a nke yese nke yente asemi minimo kasa fi America enso so matisa asem we adinta esa se ora Braimah e tu anamo se obema yate ora Braimah ye bede wasipi na se do ye be che oni se me pacho pi pebre na pempeni fo kakra kan ho na mon kokko hwehwe mo MP no so bi ho mon pani no ma mon frɛ no na mon kante ni sa asɛm a yɛkɔ so nie yeso so yɛbɛta akyire yɛbɛkɔ mu bia yɛbɛpɛ na yɛba na be patropi next week
okay
anyway yɛbɛsan frɛ obi yɛbɛsan sɛ yɛkɔhwehwɛ nsɛm ni mu na yɛhwehwɛ mu wiade yɛbɛhu no yɛbɛsan aba ne ne waba abɛhwɛ bio sɛ ɛhemfa na yɛde akosi anasɛ hemfa because asɛm we deɛ bebie ni Ghana ha wɔ sie sɛ ɔmanpanin aso ɛte saa asɛm wei ɔmanpanin John Dramani Mahama menye sɛ sei ɛna ɔpɛ sɛ n'aban ɛkɔ sɛ wote hɔ na bɛte na obi etimi kɔ beebi ɛkɔ tututuo ɛbɔ obi nsɛm tuo na etuo boba de hyɛ ne nsɛm na wasan de n'akɔ akɔtum for 2 weeks aba ɔmanpanin aso bɛte saa asɛm wei I promise you but mo nso so mo ntum anamo mo nkɔ na mo kɔhwehwɛ MP no na mo mbɔ na ma ne sɛ sei na ɛkɔ so na mo pɛ sɛ yɛda CP na yɛbɛda wase no edwuma ɛma wo Fiase fo ni na yɛda wase na chia ɔmo nyinaa so yɛbɛsan ahyia bio next week. Okay, so that was Abdullai Braimah, the spokesperson for the people of Fiaso. Na Ochra in Sema Ekoso Fiaso no. It's not something to be excited about at all. Please, somebody tag the presidency. Let them know, say, same way Ekoso Ghana has said. For all you know, it's not even been brought to the immediate attention of the president. But make sure the way Assembly as a President Mahama, he will definitely move on it. And which we will do our part to make sure say this doesn't go unpunished. If what we are hearing now is true. Yabeda Masipi, thank you very much. We are going to bring you your GH reports in a second. Nafe Yede Asare Sofene. Please don't go away. Stay. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Ghana's best kept culinary secret.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Fiaso, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Fiaso municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Okay, you're welcome back. Thank you very much. And let's go to the last segment of today's show. Let's bring on the man, Justice Mafo, for your GH reports. Justice, thank you very much. Fire call.
National the 41st National Farmers Day. Yadeshisha Soma national event Nankasa no kopie mu huwa. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kujine mu ma omori dwumadi ne hihye so. Na regional no so so Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amakohene the Ashanti region de no so ba ne kurum Asante Mampon. Na no na dwumadi ne mpompon so no sa municipal farmer municipal best farmer yede koma Mr. Alexander Obin, popularly known as Dada Alex. Ye nyina yusu yenim se Dr. Frank Amakohene ni nua panyini no. Na anu bi na OTT de nkrofo keka almost say conflict of interest. Na eni kwa say nka Dada Alex na ne nsaka. Na nso so no miteti nkomo no mahu se ase sebe nsuo nche da nyinam because ohwe asem no se de omo ka no a do Dada Alex yen nyina yenim Dada Alex se oye constituency youth organizer constituency organizer edma NDC ewo Asante Mampon abato mpehua na nso ohwe enfu a waya abrofo nko aye over 200 acres ohwe enfu a
200 acres
200 acres abrofo nko a over 200 acres yede videos ni bi baba ma sa claims na omode ba no ye nyina no ye refute sa claims no because din say ya na wohwe poultry farm so a wo ya over 600 birds na owo ho ntino na ye bisa se ene se obi wo ho no na se na afu peso sene dada Alex de na won famra na ye mfama no because me bisa mpanimfo mo chire mu se omo converting em se procedure no ube go through 6 stages ni nyina no ofamu 6 stages ni nyina no ofamu through vetting no ema mo approve no ansa na ya so ne so ahwe best farmer na nkasa na eno na dwumade no kwa awie no ye de best farmer no municipal best farmer no de ma Alexander Oben na no na nsentwerefo ne ne di nkomo na ye bisa no wo chire mi se farming ne de na wo ye 2000 the year 2000 na o started farming na ebra wo de shemu kenapa 2019 wo bra covid unity na 2020 ye call lockdown na oye na dwe se farming no be funny serious because ye say lockdown aba aduane de enya de a ye betima ka se ye beja adie enu ntino oye na dwe se ne abrufuo no obekoso na wa ya mankrofo so enya aduane adi na aka kunya gene kwakwo num se newsroom ayekra do on bo first interview no emfama ye obra na dada Alex ene ensentwerefo edi enkomo no
we enwanwa batinye me wanwa because me free this man so say me person me yekua enye ne me free me days at school age kan nyina na me start say me yekua na de she me nkwa akese ye pa ya bra covid bae no me wo se Fiase amansan nyina no sika awo edan awo bibia wo bia ntimi save you that time ade ane save lipa ya duane because yes obi anhye dem but aduane de wuntimi nya idi me hwe sa de ne ma me ka say no ahode am di wurakua yem e wo se mitimi bie mu ma ne yekese ene ma me di bie mu ma ne yekese ene yakopon adaro mama mpon municipal mama baje best farmer we a stepping stone because anytime be am throw challenge ma me ho sa challenge we a challenge say me yire me ho na me ye ekwa ni mu yi a metimi akomo ni mpa enti madam panimfo ase em say vet na hodo aye fam kura be 9 num ni nsia ne ade aye fam mu nyina wie ye no mu hu ni say me farms na me ye no eni di di mu a afiwe ye de sa abaso bo we ama me enya mabru ne mfom so yenti ameka say enya mabru ne mfom so ne say se me ka sika me di ruakua ye mu kirewa obi a woni dwetwe no ntimi nye eti me fa sa kwanya we say so aka kire aban say ye wo mabru ni bebre ti se me a omo pese omo nyakua ya anko mo beye so omo hu ya agric officers na omo be hu omo bo omo modin yie pa ne akuafo aku ahodo atwa ye ho ahia na yetimi yi enum ana wo de edupe e wo manfo ha say ye de sika ta wo machi omo so maye te se me a me so omo say ache kra ni mfie mi no mba beje best farmers award
one who am that Alex. I'm so proud of him. That Alex, yeah, done for so what about you show you so that and you know we are very proud of you, that Alex. Congratulations. Now, I'm reactive quickly to start conflict of interest nonsense. So we in same. Okay, I said recently na akwebi sakwana radio culture. Akwana si oni enkasa biom na me or ye. Now, what's as a government at the policy about saying kokon kiti. Now, what's your say kwa. Nas obisu a ono ye NDC ni kokwaje na oye na ejina na the award mana. No what's about big janwa ba bekasa dey. It's nonsense. So obi wo 200 acres of. Hey, na me farm do 20 acres in po. And so me farm me farmer. What you say? Me farm do 1/10 of odoni base farm nin kwampo. And so me yaba me award damage. What you say? No be on no 200 acres plus other we say. Na kokoro na chemi mu ye. We say 600 beds. 600 that's a soccer crow na.
Ai sa enketwa na eba no obode started sa nkokon ketenkete no. Ono before say policy no ba no. Enkokon no wo ho nketenkete no. Aha, omo na ye 600 no. Nti odi bi ba ho, omo ye exhibition no odi bi ba ho no mbe ne nam ho. But the omo ton no bronya e de ene uduru ho no mo ntimi nkai.
Do so pro. Catch that Alex. Me say only a bronya. All my ye staff no. On di obi a bronya. Catch and say ye be a bronya there. That one hot. Me pa your second story, please.
Na yɛwi a ne nwie Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amoako hene nso so de bi to aso kyerɛ mu sɛ aban na yɛ krado sɛ ɔbɛsɔ mmabunu n'asen na ɔmo nso so atumi awura farming no mu because ɔmo hu sɛ saa farming industry no nso so ɛyɛ ade a sika wɔ mu a wode ho hyɛ mu a ebitumi aboa especially with saa ɛyɛ nkokɔ nketenkete policy na aba no na woba wɔ no ne office hɔ no mu a ɛyɛ ade a wɔyɛ ayi saa nkokɔ buo yi bi asisi hɔ no mu a wɔno wahyɛ aseɛ wɔ RCC hɔ no mu a ɛnya agorɔ koraa ɛno nti no ɔbɛpɛ sɛ mmabunu no bɛhyɛ aseɛ na nkokɔ nketenkete no ɔmo de ɔmo ho ahyɛ mu na ɔmo aba bɛgye ɛyɛ bɛs ne bi ɛno nso so ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ newsroom ayɛ krado a ɔmbɔ yɛn second interview no ɛmfama yɛn wɔ berɛ a na Dr. Frank Amoako hene ɛde nsɛm yi ɛto dwa
no aka dwumadi abayi din wɔ tumi sɛ ampa santemaya gye so ebi o mɛna bɔ mo ba yɛ mu sɛ cooking competition any food exhibition nneɛma yɛ hwɛ ne ha yɛ hu no raw no ɔmɛkyerɛkyerɛ sɛ wokuta ɛyɛ bɔde a deɛ na wobɛtumi de ayɛ beyond sɛ ɔde yɛ ampesie wokuta bancha deɛ na wobɛtumi de ayɛ beyond fufuo wei ne nneɛma yɛ pɛ sɛ yɛde promote yi make sure sɛ aduane a yɛgrow wɔ Ghana ha no yɛbɛtumi patronize ne yɛdi na aboa ma ɛyɛ grow Ghana eat Ghana feed Ghana secure the future no president and so dey between abaso na ye kama youth in agriculture and majority of Aba institution NYA NEIP youth ministry ni nyina no ye ho say capital between available ama youth a omo irrespective of sector no between nya capital injection kakra wa ngo nkete enkomo ayedi we obabunu na obese oye bia say dey me ye bi omo say regional minister oba me residents ankoko no musu no musu that na disika bebre yes obey say aduma na so obokro no and America is so maka tell say beyond nko nketenkete ya the fish nketenkete so aba ya the aben nketenkete so aba obaji na ukodua e na beboa ma wo so ye ababuna ozu kakra betima ye dey aba oboto nti me doctor na say me yan nko nketenkete a e wo so hu say emfa ho ne wo school awakọ ana o profession farming there e ade e wo say nyina na obi ade no huram go obi adidi say doctor didi teacher didi there ye call for me so obi atimi boa na wo so ntimi di no ho ehim medas
interesting na we man create a message no what is ekoko ni so mo musu mo musu na akoko so aso adi jadu no nsu e fa so beba interesting na ade abako so madun asan esiso o say fish eketekete so ba o eno o kire mu
eno no obo de fish bi ba catfish no catfish no mo de bi ba a wo ba obetumi abegye no wo bra mo ye nketenkete pa no woji a omo be ma feed no eno so sam say enyandro national afi na wo no regional minister person o ye no municipal level anti no maami bi wo ho no na ye de amano a provide sa catfish nketenkete no ene tilapia ayen wo anti o botank na bibisa na wode nsuo na gum open so obetime de eye obisi heat be kan bebre nti eye amfa rubber nsem nti sa emwa no entimi enya hoden nti no se obo
form no nsuso e
wo form de ayi cement kura cement mu a ana to tiles wom na wode nsuo no gum a ombe kire okwan a obefa so a obeye no we no de eye municipal level we nyandro regional and call national antino we fishing kete
#fishing kete me pacho yeah my graphics in design bibi mana fato yeah kind of saying TikTok no sumaye me pacho p #fishing kete na bo police amane cause police a fish farmer you need so what is say we
okay
when amane otia me show so be kwa ko chesi fishing kete ne bi just I'm sorry so
mate enti no ha na yede yama no boni nyina bi si nyame boa next week Sunday same time yede report no de yesa kan nyina so ebebrem na Fiaso incident no so ye manisi wa yede ani bedi akire
mami bisa because say chesi national security na any ministry of interior for response unya bibi from omwana so far
me de omo press statement na sende spokesperson no beto ama me feedback bia eno ane se or reply say thank you. Into no meaning say I feel na or your investigation on who the into no me finding out my feedback and
following up, mommy. That means so almost share Techiman South constituency, I say, and
I say Martin James Acosta na MP.
Okay. Me pacho
MPP.
Try say ubenyano na yebenyo no so na response. Me pacho P. Why? Why you didn't come more?
Right, but
Joe, your DACP for your report. Justice Mafo. Thank you very much, as always. Okay, any day show ni besi. Arts and culture this week. Yemfa Embremo. It's say yet to KULCHA Festival. That what is more than that? Embremo a whole segment on a festival until you arts and culture need the share anymore, right? I don't think there's too much to be said after such education that we got from Nana Kuntuo Asare. Obe joining my education on arts and culture on the KULCHA Festival. Yeah, the best sorry so I say you better must be some na joining. Thank you for joining this week's edition of the show. Next week, God willing, we will bring you another edition of the show. In the meantime, Moma Yemfawe and sorry so, and thank you very much for doing the watching. Someone to me can be after this. Remember, KULCHA Festival is coming on in Assin Festival. Shatawale, the street king, is visiting with a boom show, and he'll be coming with my boy Nana Kwadwo. Nana Kwadwo will be featuring on that show also. By the way, we are also proud media partners of this show. Oshe Shatawale poster, Oshe bottom left corner, Obehu your logos, tuning now, iCulture Radio Culture. We are proud media partners of the KULCHA Festival. Also, say, during that time, I also making Adriani Huasem. Say, media, Adriani ni hodi ankamenko. Roots Kitchen, I say, Mama Yema Munina Masunti say, to KULCHA Festival now. Adriani, you have no problem whatsoever. Visit Roots Kitchen. Roots Kitchen is directly opposite the Catholic Hospital. Directly opposite the Catholic Hospital. You can't miss it. And I understand that right now there are some banners flying there and everything to indicate that, this is where it's all at. There's also going to be something called the Calabash Experience, which will also be at Roots Kitchen. And there's another venue further up Assin Festival. Donic Enterprise. Donic Enterprise will be having the Calabash Experience. Donic Enterprise, Calabash Experience, no. Omo on 2 venues. Omo bako ewo esroho. I'm saying honey for future kwanana. But Donic Enterprise, you call towards the old courthouse no area honum. You find it over there. And now the second venue no ebeye with Roots Kitchen. The ebeye at Roots Kitchen. So Roots Kitchen is having the KULCHA Grill and Chill, what they call the KULCHA Grill and Chill, and also the Calabash Experience. All of this is happening under the auspices of the great chiefs and people of Assin Festival. Now, we are also proud media partners, as I keep saying. Thank you very much once again for doing the listening and the watching. Thank you, everybody who was listening and watching on www.ghnewsnow.com. Thank you, everybody who was watching and listening on Facebook, on YouTube, and possibly on TikTok. I'm not sure if we went live on TikTok today, but thank you all the same on whatever platform you are watching. Next week, like I said, God willing, we will be back for God and country on the same platform. Let's leave with a little bit of spice from Nana Kwadwo, and look out for Nana Kwadwo on the Shatawale show. Let's go.
What's up? Sampana ye what's up? Besiakon dansa me asimbre ku what's up? Fiaso what's up? Assin confide what's up? Yankuma say ja so Assin ja what's up? Assin kushia what's up? Assin Festival what's up? Assin don't play enya brem insuta what's up? Assin ando what's up? Assin manso what's up? Onyata, Achiase, Cheche, what's up? And so I am what's up? Yeah, I say down my what's up? Yeah, Ingressy, I send crying, don't yabra what's up? Yeah, China so what's up? Seben so what's up? Yeah, I'm Wabe, Jakai, Busmaje what's up? Hey, Yankuma say what's up? Yeah, Oduma say what's up? Abba say what they big room, Katachia say what's up? Yeah, I send girls what's up? Yeah, I send boys what's up? Yeah, this your boy a man crap to. Menkoti, Nkoti, Amato, I say boy.